Hey, all right. It looks like it's working now. Shouts out to the Rumble support team. I hope whatever is going on gets resolved shortly. Yep. Okay. Look, there I am. Cool. We're good to go, guys. It's Tuesday and it's April 7th already. April 7th. We're deep into the the feels of spring, and we're going to have a wonderful guest for you today, guys. It's the Indoor Farmer Reviews, episode 174. And there's a little, some technical snafus, but we're going to get to it. If you're seeing this, please help us share it out. Send it out to everywhere, anyone you know. And plus, on top of the difficulties, help me out, help a brother out. We're going to play a little intro while we get some time to hit the like and share everywhere. And you can listen to the song, and you'll kind of get an idea of who I am and what I do. Let's see if I can hit the right one. I think it's this one here. Let's go. Let's review.
Inside most days, grow lights on and low, tending rows of green beneath that artificial glow. But once a week he breaks out, camera in his hand, hits the streets and back roads of this forgotten land. Small shops pop up, markets, voices loud and proud. He's chasing stories no algorithm ever found. He's trading solitude for the roar of the crowd. Gonna bring it all back home somehow. The Indoor Farmer Reviews, rolling out to see what's new. From the booth to the screen, he's bringing it to you. The Indoor Farmer Reviews, faces you might never meet, places you might never reach, right from your seat. Yeah, the Indoor Farmer Reviews. Local brewers, candle makers, farmers selling jars, artists with their tables underneath the open stars. Wayland walks the aisles, asks the questions we'd ask too. Snaps the shots, records the laughs, keeps the moment true. For the ones who can't get out of wheels or walls of pain, he opens up the window, lets the world roll in again. He's living for the ones who stay behind, showing them the world is still kind. The Indoor Farmer Reviews, rolling out to see what's new. From the booth to the screen, he's bringing it to you. The Indoor Farmer Reviews, faces you might never meet, places you might never reach, right from your seat. Yeah, the Indoor Farmer Reviews. He started just to get some air, escape the grow room walls. Now every mile he drives becomes a bridge for all. One man, one lens, one live stream glow, turning strangers into friends we'll never Thursday night, the chat lights up, the community tunes in. Waylon's back behind the lights, wearing that tired grin. replays every highlight, tells the tales he found. While the world spins outside, we're gathered round. Small dreams getting bigger with every view. That's what the indoor farmer came to do. The indoor farmer reviews, rolling out to see what's new. From the booth to the screen, he's bringing it to you. The indoor farmer reviews, voices rising through the feed, giving everyone a chance to feel the streets. Yeah, the indoor farmer reviews. The indoor farmer reviews. We're all right here with you.
All right, we're back, everybody. We're back. It is now 1:09 Central Time. Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Central Time, I do a different kind of review, whether I do a guest or I go out to different events or things like that. I try to find something that gets me out of my mind and out of my house. And so today we have a very, very special guest that I've known for a while, and I want to say like a year or two that I've really just wanted to have her on as a guest. So I'm hoping that we can just really blow this one out of the water. Hit the like button, share it out, guys. Let's go. Get those dancing bananas going in the Rumble chat. Let's go, everybody. We have. Let me make sure this is on my face first. Rumble got a lot of things going on. They're changing a lot of things for the good, but there's a lot of glitches happening. So apologies to everybody who saw us go live like 2 or 3 times. You might be stuck in the old one right now in some kind of loop, black screen loop. But come on and find us, and we're going to bring up our awesome guest right now, Miss ApotheCarol from X. If you're on X, it's at Kiss My Carol, which is kind of interesting. Hello, Carol. Hi.
Hey,
Well, we finally
Whaley.
made it.
And you're right. It's been a year that you've been saying, "Hey, come get on my podcast," and we just haven't been able to make it work out. So happy to be here now. How are you?
I mean, things have changed too, and I'm like, well, I'm not a night. I don't do it at nighttime. I was doing it at 8 o'clock at night, and so 1 o'clock is a big difference. Good. I'm glad you can make it. You are in the middle of work, and you're taking a little cut out here, so we want to respect your time, and be as quick as possible. No, I'm just kidding, but
I'm
just
not.
to kind of.
There's no hurry. It's completely flexible. Yeah, no
Okay.
hurry.
Well, I honestly, I could talk to you for hours, so I want to focus it just a little bit and say, a lot of my audience doesn't know you, so let's do that. I used to call it the boring part, but I feel like that's ridiculous to call that when I'm asking someone to tell me about themselves. But you get what I mean, like the kind of cookie cutter part of it. But yeah, I want to hear just from you because I probably know a little bits of this, and I called you a medical professional because I thought it would be kind of, I don't want to say demeaning, but almost reductionist to say, "Oh, she's a nurse." Like what? Like there's so much more, right? So, who are you? What do you do? Tell us about you.
Okay, so yeah, on X, I am ApotheCarol, and I have been a registered nurse. I'm coming up on 50 years in nursing, you guys.
Wow.
And I was born and raised in a third world country. And as a child, my mother
Oh,
took us to a curandera. I had access to one of the flagship Department of Defense hospitals in the world because my father was military. And we were on the Canal Zone in Panama, a great hospital. That's where I was born.
wow.
But mother took us to the healer lady when we got
Mm,
sick. Well, when I graduated high school at 16 and chose nursing, I decided that that was all a bunch of hooey, and I knew better than my mom, and I went into nursing and I learned all this great and groovy stuff, and got my license, got out there, and I was a nurse and I thought I knew everything, right?
mm.
And but 20 something years later, I nearly lost my life to a terminal illness. And when they presented me with my treatment options, all the doctors, I had an assortment of doctors, and they presented me with the treatment options. I said, I'm not going to do any of that. There's got to be a different way. So I went on this search, and actually I ended up going to another medical doctor who said, I'm going to send you to a nutritionist. And the nutritionist and I, with her background and her knowledge, me with my background and my knowledge, we put it all together. And I was told by all the doctors, here's a medication that will control symptoms, but you can only be on it for 18 months. In which case, and going any longer, you will definitely die, like right away. And so within 15 months of starting things naturally and holistically, I was completely off the medications. That what takes us now to the early part of 2025. I've been in remission ever since, and I've been learning and learning and learning more about natural medicine and treating people using more natural modalities. I'm wearing a stethoscope. I'm wearing a lab coat. I am in a clinical setting right now seeing patients. I've carved out some time. But when I practice now, my approach is I've got one foot in each world. A lot of people want to transition out of standard allopathic medicine and into something more natural and more holistic. And so I help them do that. There are people that are in standard allopathic medicine. They just want to stay there. I can help them do that as safely as possible. The basic principles of what I do not change, whether we're in standard medicine or we're in natural medicine. The basics are always the same. And then from there, I do what I call health freedom. How do you want this to go? What do you want this to look like? And I let the patients kind of tell me how they would like the ship steered. Or what the destination, what the goals are, and then I kind of help them get that done. And it's interesting because there's not many people that can do both.
It's very strange. I feel like you're straddling two worlds, almost like I feel like you're probably getting pulled in both directions. Like, do people from both sides of the fence be like, well, don't you want to come over this way a little more? You know what I mean? Does anybody ever try to convince you of one way or the other? I wonder. I'm sure they do.
Well, the people that are hardcore, everything's got to be, according to pharmaceuticals. It's got to all be, I call it
the experts people, right?
Yeah, I call it the Church of Pharmaceutical Mysticism. We can talk about that. But the ones that are just very staunch, that it's got to be this way, and standardized medicine with all its clinical trials and all of this stuff, pharmaceutical stuff, the biopharmaceutical medical industrial complex, they are very critical. They just want to criticize. But the ones that are more all in natural health, they respect the fact that I know things they don't know because of my background and training and experience. And they're very respectful, they're very humble, they're very giving, and they understand that there are people that are coming out of one situation into another and vice versa. And we all respect that there are many good things about allopathic medicine, about the standard medical model that we have here in the United States that are excellent, that I would not change, just keep getting better, like emergency medicine, trauma care. I mean, guys, if I get hit by a bus, scrape me up off the pavement, throw me in an ambulance, and get me to an emergency room where they can put me back together, okay? Surgical interventions. When I was a young nurse, just getting your gallbladder out you were in the hospital for 3 weeks, and you were cut from stem to stern. It was a major ordeal. Now, they're doing it outpatient with 3 little tiny holes in this microscopic surgical intervention thing that they've got going on. Some things were unheard of. Heart transplants and liver transplants, that was unheard of back then. Neonatal intensive care. When I was a young nurse, a baby born under 5 pounds, maybe.
Right.
A baby born under 3 pounds, no way. They were not going to survive. They're keeping 1-pound babies alive now. Isn't that amazing?
My son was in the NICU for 49 days, and he's 11 now. So how far have they come since then?
So amazing. amazing, and that's
Hmm.
where I started my career, was labor and delivery, newborn nursery, and maternity, the postpartum care. That's where I started my career.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that was just not happening back then. Intensive care, they can keep people on machines for a very long time now. We couldn't do that back then. Sometimes that's good, sometimes not so good, but sometimes it can be really, really good while we're waiting on something else. Okay,
Right.
but there are diagnostics. We didn't have MRI machines. When
Mm.
I was in nursing school, I was also working in a hospital. That hospital was the second hospital in the state of Texas to get a CAT scan machine. That's how long ago this was, you guys. And now we've got these MRIs. We've got all kinds of diagnostic tools, SPECT scans, and thermography, and all these things we didn't have back then. So that's another area. So those are the 5 areas I've identified where allopathic medicine, standardized medicine, is doing a really good job. The rest of it, not so
Mm.
good. Not
Well,
so
like,
good.
to simplify it, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And
Oops,
that's
sorry.
in so many things. I like to think that the answers often come in what we did in the past plus what we know now. Like
Yes.
with farming implements, with anything almost. You can't throw away the history, and with your long career in it, I'm surprised, and I'm, really in a pleasant way that you have such a thirst for newer knowledge. Like what else can we find out, rather than people that kind of get stuck in a career, whether it's medical or not. You get, well, that's how you do it. That's always, it's just always how, but like people kind of get stuck with this kind of equipment and this sort of way to do it, and instead of always looking at the new ways of doing it. So that's just a side thought I had. But
Well,
um
one thing that people don't always understand or don't think about, I mean, who would pay any attention and think about this other than someone like me? But I mean, this medical model that we work under now, this healthcare system, this is 100 years old. Okay, before before 1910, everything was completely different, and you can trace it backwards throughout history. And yes, there were, new discoveries, there were some new things that people were using and doing, but overall, this is new. This is
mhm.
and over the course of human history, this is new, and we're excelling in some areas, but we're failing in a lot of areas too. Yeah.
Well, and then there's areas, like, not to go biblical, but there's areas where it's like, why do we need to go there? Why do we need to grow a headless torso for people's organ replacements, and instead of just like all these things that kind of get a little bit freaky and scary in the future. But I totally get the drive, like say just for that instance, growing an organ like that out of my own DNA and things like that. That would be great, right? No chance of rejection. But then I saw this article. It's like they're going to grow an entire torso with no head, like, or not torso, the entire body with no head. And I was like, what is the purpose of going that far? Like, I guess you have extra parts. I don't know, but there's just some of it that just gets a little bit freaky. And then there's, of course, there's corruption and everything. And when there's corruption in medical fields, it gets it's scary because it's your health. When there's corruption in like football, you're like, okay, well, I probably just don't watch football, right? But when it's in the medical industry, people get really freaked out. And so, um, anyway, I had a couple, like, I was watching a Joe Rogan earlier for some reason, and they were bringing up ibogaine, and I was like, you know what, I want to ask her about this because I have PTSD. I'm a veteran. I do use medical marijuana, but I do see the downsides of it, and I do, at times, like, obviously I'm addicted, and I have other, everybody has vices, but I want to know what your thoughts are on the ibogaine, just specifically. I know that's a weird, just if you want just a quick thought on if you've ever heard of it or not. Oh, I lost your audio there. I lost your mic. Uh oh, it's still muted. Hmm. Hope it's not on my side. That's weird. The mic itself button is muted. There it goes. There it goes.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it didn't show it muted, but anyway, I'm having a little technical difficulties on my end. For one thing, I keep knocking my phone over, so there's that. But I'm also my battery. This has really sucked my battery fast. So I took out my headset and I plugged in a battery pack,
Okay.
power pack. So
Hmm.
hopefully it'll work. So Ibogaine, it's really interesting. I've been looking at that recently because a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, her husband incurred a traumatic brain injury back in December, and I had heard that this could be very helpful. So I've started to look at it, and recently it was approved in the state of Texas that they're going to fund some research here in Texas because the federal government, the FDA, won't fund the research. So the
Hmm.
state of Texas is actually going to fund some research here in Texas, and she and I are looking at maybe is her husband a candidate to, go into this research study. And because it's a natural substance, I'm okay. If it was some weird pharmaceutical coming out of left field, I'd be like, oh hell no. But because it's ibogaine and I know what it is, I was like, hey, maybe we can get him in the study and see. But she is. They're actually working with Dr. Daniel Amen, and I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but he is I would say he is probably one of the leading experts in brain trauma, concussions, that kind of thing. And he's very, very holistic in his approach. He's using spectrometry to see the brain instead of just MRIs and
Hmm.
EKGs. He's actually looking at SPECT scans, which is amazing technology, guys. I'm blown away.
Never heard of it.
And he's been around for a minute. So he's being seen by Dr. Daniel Amen. We would have to get clearance, but yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem with that kind of thing. If it's a natural substance and it's got a history that we can go and kind of look at the safety profile on this, and there are people that have been working with it, and I mean, everybody's got to weigh it out from themselves. Some people feel like it's totally fine to take these GLP-1 drugs for weight loss, and other people are like,
Right.
oh no, that's too sketchy for me. So the point is get as much information as you can and make a decision for yourself. Is kind of my approach to those kinds of things, and everybody's different.
Well, that's why I
And what's
love you about like I'm much more inclined to listen to somebody who says do your own research, decide for yourself, like those types of things. Like that's kind of how I do things. Like, hey, I'm not 100% sure on this topic, but this is what I think and this is where I found it, you know. Yeah, the audio's kind of coming back a little bit here. Let me just turn your audio down a little bit. There we go. That might help. Okay. So I did pull it up. It's kind of interesting. The SPECT scan, single photon emission computed tomography,
demography?
is a nuclear medicine imaging test. That kind of freaks me out. The nuclear medicine. I had to have a MRI once with it in my, with the whatever you call that isotope that they put in you.
The
To make sure.
contrast, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I think we might have saw some of the same stuff with Governor Perry, and I was gonna actually I forgot until you brought it up that it was a whole Texas initiative, and several other states too. So that's cool. I do want to I point out, guys. A lot of you are just coming in. If you are watching on X, the comments do not come through on the Rumble Studios. So you're welcome to come and find us on YouTube if you don't like Rumble. But we are live. We can see comments from Rumble. Is there?
I can't hear you.
There's some static now for some reason. Hmm. Okay, I hit. Okay, how does this sound now? Can you hear me? Wow. Okay.
Is my audio coming in?
Yeah, I can hear you, but not the
Okay.
other way around. This is
Yeah, I
really. How
can't
do we?
hear you.
How do we have an interview like this? Um, hmm. Well, we could. I could call you and put it on the screen. Okay. I don't know if I can call. Okay. Anyone else hear me? Let me see. Maybe I can. How about now? Anything?
You did something a minute ago, and I lost your audio.
Huh.
I see you toggling your microphone.
I'm
That's
gonna go
cute.
back.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
How about now?
It's better. It's better.
There's a little bit of feedback, but it's not terrible if you can hear me at least.
Yes, I can.
Wow. You guys, I promise this isn't my first day. I really do. I promise. You know, and this happened on Monday. My main show, which is 230 episodes in, which I'm excited. I'm happy about. Once a week, 230 episodes, and they had to ruin it. Rumble had to ruin it. Anyway, so I guess we could talk about technology a little bit because since you started, how long have you been doing host space or spaces? I wonder.
Let's see. In a couple weeks, it will be 5 years every single Sunday. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It
So
started. It started in March of 2021 that I was, hosting spaces, involved with spaces, co-hosting, hosting, that kind of thing. But my space that I do every single week, it's going to be, I think, no, 3 weeks from now will be my 5 year anniversary, and it's been every single week. I've missed three
I was gonna
in
say
5 years.
she knows how many she missed. Even it's
Yeah,
funny.
I
E-
guess.
Everyone in the comments is, or at least a couple people are saying that we both sound good to them. So whatever
Okay, good,
feedback I'm hearing
wonderful.
is pointless, I guess. I'm gonna pull up your X account just so that I can a little bit more properly promote you. Let's
And what you'll
see.
see on my account is that this particular account opened in 2022. So Jack Dorsey did not like me. And so I kind of rebranded in 2022 to calm him down a little bit. Yeah, but
Mm.
I've actually the space itself has not changed, and so that little count has been open since 2022 might throw people off a little bit, and it's Kiss My Carol, KISS is keep it super simple. When we approach health, we need to keep it simple.
Sure. So I think a lot of people are connecting more now through the internet, so that's really great that you do that every week and has a place for people to like really. For me, because my kind of shtick is like a guy that's learning this stuff. I'm a curious person. Um, did you lose me again? Getting higher
Your
feedback now.
audio dropped way down again. I don't know what's happening, and yeah, I'm having a little bit of
Did your
battery
earbuds
issue
work?
on this end. I don't know what's happening.
Did the earbuds work earlier, or those sounded
Yeah, the
better?
earbuds are great. My problem is my battery is dying. Like this has really sucked my battery super
I
fast. I
see.
started off at 65%, and now I'm down to 10.
The earbuds might help that actually because the speaker is going to be a little bit more power. You know what I mean?
Well, I've got my battery pack.
Okay.
I don't know. It says 100%.
The
I don't
audio
know,
was better when you
guys.
had your
Just
headphones
I'm
on
a
for some
nurse. I'm
reason.
not a geek.
That's okay. Anyway, I like to just point this out that it's our first time hanging out, talking one on one, and I, for one, like I'll probably bug you in a few months, and maybe we'll try and do it again sometime, of course. But with all the difficulties, definitely. Um, I don't know if you can even hear what I'm saying right now. No? Huh. This is ridiculous. So let me just call you. Can you hear me? Let me just call you on.
Barely, I can. And
Okay.
I can change to a different device.
We could try that.
Yeah, I can change to another
Oh,
device.
that's
I,
so
I
much
don't,
better with those in.
is it?
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
Okay. That's better. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I honestly think it will be better on the battery because your phone using the speaker is probably a little bit more power
I think
usage.
my battery's going to die in like 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I better hurry up. There's something I've been burning to ask you. It's just been burning in my mind, and I didn't want to do it right away. I wanted to see if we get some people. Well, we got 73 total with your X shares. Thank you guys, um, Carol. And you don't have to answer this, but I hope you will. What
No,
was
I won't
young?
marry you. I'm not going to marry you,
Well,
Raylan.
look, um, like I just need two kids and a picket fence and all the whole thing. No, so I want to know about young Carol. I want to know what you did. See, you were in a third world country, you said, so that sounds like it's going to throw a wrench in my question. But I want to know like what you did to party. Did you ever? What was the young? Did you? When's the last time you had a alcohol? You drink a glass of wine once in a while. Like you don't have to. I know you're all about health, and I love it, and I want to go that direction. But I kind of straggle. I'm on both sides of the fence on some things. So what were you like before you found all the information? Did you ever try cannabis ever?
Okay, so I was born and raised in Panama. I ran around the jungles naked. That stuff grew wild. Yeah, we were smoking, cannabis at an early age.
Oh.
Alcohol. So it was the Panama Canal zone, and
Hmm.
that was before Jimmy Carter gave the canal away. And on the canal zone, the legal drinking age when I was young was 18 years old. You couldn't buy alcohol before 18. But if you crossed the street and went into Panama, if you were old enough to put the money up on the counter, you were old enough to buy alcohol. They
Wow.
didn't care. There was no legal drinking age. So we didn't really make a big deal of any of it because it was just all there. And it just wasn't a big deal. It was just kind of part of our teenage life growing up. And then when I came to the States, the legal drinking age was 18. I was 17, so I'd be a little sneaky for a little while. It was discos. The discos were the thing, back then. And then when I turned 18 and I was legal, and then I turned 19. After I turned 19, the drinking age was 19 in Texas. After I turned 21, the drinking age changed to 21. So I kind of stayed ahead of it a little bit. But
Wow.
no, now what I do now is like the only thing I really drink is tequila. It's like she's drinking tequila,
Hmm.
and but I really like, and I'm really kind of a connoisseur of tequilas. I like
Hmm.
really high quality sipping tequilas. I've got a really beautiful collection, and
Hmm.
literally, a shot glass in an evening. I've just sipped a shot glass in an
Sure.
evening. And there's actually health benefits to tequila, you guys,
Hmm.
but not the way that a lot of people drink it. Okay, shooting it really fast and chasing
Sure.
it with beer, and that's probably not a good idea. And then as far as cannabis goes, because of my license, I've had to test, and they'll do
Hmm.
random testing. So I've had to stay clean for that reason. Plus, I had kids, and it's like, life changes. It's like I don't need to be getting high and all that kind of stuff. And it was fine. But that has also changed a little bit in recent years, where I don't have to get tested anymore. So
Hmm.
every once in a while, I will. On a Saturday, it's like I got to do housework today.
Hmm.
I think I'll eat a gummy. Like I'll do
Hmm.
that on a Saturday to work in the garden or do a little housework. I have a little gummy.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think
Well.
cannabis is very. I actually did some research that contributed to some of um, the medical cannabis use laws in Texas. Like I did the research,
Hmm.
handed it over. I wrote up a report. The congressman that did that bill in Texas used that report to get that law changed a little bit here in Texas. So I'm all about medical cannabis. Absolutely.
There's such a battle with it, and it's such a football, just like any other major kitchen table issue. And I know that you dip into the political realm, and I do too. I'm actually very political, but I come at it from a different angle. Like I talk about the philosophy or the belief behind a topic instead of throwing all these names, or like I can play that game. Like this person said that, you don't remember when they said this and this and that. But I try to talk to people. I try to get to the heart of like, what is it that you believe? How is it that you want to see this turn out?
Yeah.
Because that's where we're going to differ. It's not because, oh, we don't believe in different facts. No, it's we want to see different outcomes, and that's a problem. And right now with I know you like to say maha yourself. Maha yourself, meaning make yourself healthy again. Make work on yourself. And I hesitate to sort of label any sort of, like, I'm not really necessarily MAGA or whatever, but there's a lot of people today that just want to have this team fight, and I'm out here trying to straddle both sides with cannabis specifically. I have multiple fans and viewers and subscribers who are vehemently opposed to me politically, you know. But they can get along here because I'm not constantly just battering them with my opinions on things, you know, and that's what I like about your space too. Like you will bring up things if it comes up, but that's not your whole like point, you know. And I like it. Anyway, I'm sitting here thinking about how when is her phone going to die the whole time. But I will say this, just to be, this is a thing that everybody wishes they could do when they have a nurse or a doctor or somebody they have their ear, they're going to ask them about their own ailments. So I'm just going to tell you, recently I had blood coming out of my ear. Is that something I should be seen for?
Um, I don't know. Are you in any pain, discomfort? Are you having any other symptoms? Sometimes blood coming out of your ear could just be that you had some damage to the eardrum and it'll trickle a tiny little bit of blood.
It
Sometimes
didn't
it can
come
be other
out.
things
It was just like I found it when
on
I
the
cleaned my ear. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's just a little trauma in
Hmm.
there. I mean, it could even be as innocuous as there's a cyst in there that you cannot see or feel, and that thing burst, you know, and it discharged some discharge. But if you're not feeling any discomfort or pain, there's no other symptoms, you're not having anything neurological going on, like, you know, tinnitus or some kind of hearing impairment or something, I would say just, you know, just hang out and wait, and it may be nothing.
Yeah, everybody was like, "Ah, you gotta go see." I posted on it. I said, "What does it mean when?" Everybody was like, "Ah," and then one person was like, "Don't take advice from people online." And I was
That's
like,
right.
"She's like, go and go." And I was, you know, I was just making a post. I wasn't gonna like take medical advice, but I said, "Can't I do both?" With a laughing face, like. But no, yeah, it is funny because people get kind of freaked out by stuff these days, and then online you get this sort of mob mentality because people will pile on. Oh, that's that's cancer. It's like everyone just kind of jumps on and kind of like throws things out there, and so that's why I'm trying to push more people or point more people to people like you. And others, and I'm hearing a little static now. I bet it's going to drop
Yeah,
any second
that's
now.
I think
Yeah. Oh, she's about to go. There it goes. I think Alice. I mean, I'm getting conflicting thoughts from Carol. I think she just died. I mean, her phone died. No, yeah, there it goes. But very man, stressful trying to get the technical difficulties under control. But I hope it's all for the better. I mean, Rumble is I'm constantly seeing Chris Pavlovsky, the owner of Rumble, like posting about all this great stuff and oh, we're so happy to have this person on Rumble now and that person and all these big personalities and then they end up just with this kind of stuff, glitches, and she should have been able to last a little longer with a regular phone battery. But they did something. They did something to. She's back, but I don't know for how long with the way the phone is. I won't hold her to it. I won't hold you very long, especially if that's just your phone dying. Probably pointless to keep trying to have you. You could do just audio for a little while. Everyone got to see you. Try that. Yeah, there you go. Um, but if it's dying, Carol, it's okay.
no, I changed to a different device.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm on my iPad now, and I've got 97%
All
battery. You're in
right.
trouble now, Mister.
Oh no. I was sitting here thinking wrapping it up
We're
and
gonna
oh
be
no.
here
Okay.
all day long.
Well, hell, I mean, I could dive into so many things. But I wanted to go back and forth. Like I want you to know that people like myself, I may not catch the space all the time, but like you're in there like it's a permanent fixture, you know, even though I may not catch it all. But I I'll bring up real quick as I know this is kind of fun. You were talking numbers recently, and a lot of people out there do that. And you were talking like the how numbers correlate with each other, and how there are almost universal connections with that. Have you seen where there is this I forget the man talking about it, but I've seen this before where he says you can take a laser from like a DeWalt like laser like find a stud finder, and people under psychedelics are now seeing a code when they look at a laser, and they can see through the wall. And and this is like, I actually can find the video. They're real professionals that are doing the research that were very like skeptical and very, this is not true, this is not real. And it's just one of these weird realms that I saw that I'm like, it just keeps getting crazier out there, and I don't know who all to believe. That's why I go to people like you. I guess there isn't a question in there. I do want to show you this though. It's really wacky. But I guess I lost my train of thought there. But it was very weird. It was, I thought it had to do with the same people talking about ibogaine, but that might not be true. Anyway, what was it? What can you give a quick like what the number space was about, just so people, if that's the recent one, people might want to go back and kind of hear what it's all about.
So I've been studying energy medicine for a number of years. So weird woo-woo stuff like, and I just got curious. Is the only reason I was studying it is like, what is this?
Sure.
And it was things like Reiki and things like healing touch. They get into the healing crystals, like all this stuff, and I was like, what, and when you're in the natural health world, that kind of stuff's going to come in from the side. People, you're going to get introduced at conferences and in books and wherever. And so I started like, what is this? And it seemed really new age and far out and woo woo kind of weirdness to me. But a few things caught my attention, and that was in the field of quantum physics and the quarks going in and out and
Ah,
all. And as I started looking at what is this quantum physics, for one thing, doctors and nurses don't get physics, even though all of our diagnostic tools use physics, and a lot of our well, mostly I mean, even my stethoscope works on the principles of physics, but we don't learn anything about physics. We don't have to take physics. We have to
nope.
take all these other sciences, right? So as I got into this, I started going, this is pretty fascinating. And, the chakras and all this stuff, and like this crazy woo-woo stuff, right? And then, but right as I was really kind of getting into this and kind of getting a kind of a cursory understanding of this, going, maybe this is not woo-woo, COVID rolled in. And so for the next several years, I was helping just people from around the world trying to navigate COVID. Then after things calmed down a little bit with COVID, I was in my spaces, already doing my spaces, and I would introduce a little woo-woo now and then. Well, one of the things as I was getting ready to do my next woo-woo space and talk about energetic vibrational frequencies that are measurable, they are documented, they are real. Someone introduced me to, that stuff's in the Bible. I was like, that stuff's not in the Bible. I know the Bible. That stuff's not in the Bible. And she's like, yeah, it's in the book of Numbers. And I went,
The
I
Book of
kind
Numbers.
I kind of skipped the book of Numbers because it's a little tedious. It's a little boring. I don't understand the point of the. It's just a list of stuff and it's repetitious. I don't like the book of. I kind of have always kind of skipped it, avoided
I
it.
never even heard of it. I'm not like, I know of the
Genesis,
Bible.
the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. And then Deuteronomy is number five, the first five books in the Old Testament. Deuteronomy is the fifth book. That is called the Pentateuch. The Jews call it the Torah. It's also called the Book of Moses. The Jews and the Christians all agree Moses wrote those five books. So Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers.
Hmm.
Genesis and Exodus are really exciting. And Leviticus is interesting. Numbers, like, no. And then let's just skip that and get over to Deuteronomy where things start getting exciting and fun again, okay? So I've never really paid attention to numbers, but that's where, and it's all hidden. It's encoded in the book of Numbers. All these frequencies, 528,
Mhm.
417, 639, or 396, 963, like all of these numbers, that these frequencies, they couldn't measure this back then. They had no way of knowing what, they didn't know the word frequency back
Mhm.
then, other
Mhm.
than how frequently are you going to the bathroom, or, frequent in that sense, but not an
Sure.
electronic frequency. They didn't know anything about this stuff. But
Hmm.
these numbers that are encoded in the book of Numbers correspond to the frequencies that are attributable to every chakra. I'm like, wait a minute. The chakras, that's supposed to be Hindu woo woo stuff.
Right.
No, it's all there. And it's encoded in the Fibonacci sequences. It's encoded. Nikola Tesla was talking about it without knowing anything about what he was learning and studying. He knew 369 was super important. And he said that if you want to unlock the secrets to the universe, look in terms of energy and frequency. Okay. But he didn't know what to do with the information he was uncovering. He did weird things like he would walk around a building 3 times. All his hotel rooms had to be divisible by three, three sixes
Hmm.
and nines. Like he had all this obsession with threes and sixes and nines, but he didn't know what to do with the information. Well, when I go back and look at the book of Numbers, I'm going,
Making
this
more
is
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Tesla was right. The secrets to the universe are in these numbers, and I carry it forward through the other parts of the Bible. It was Easter Sunday, so I focused more on the
Hmm.
resurrection of Jesus because that's Easter Sunday, and but I showed how it actually um, corresponds to that period of time as well, to the resurrection of Jesus. Yeah.
I love it because I've long thought that the Bible, I mean, you can believe multiple things at the same time. You can believe that it came from God and that it's also a blueprint of sorts in order to carry us on or to restart the human race or whatever, because I think we've gone through sort of these ebbs and flows where we've been busted back down to like knowing much of nothing. And then, how else would you pass it on but like stories and fables and good deeds and things that just kind of encourage us to rebuild in a good way. I've always thought that, and I think like the pyramids having such a mathematical background about it, and so many things that have been left behind. It's so connected. I love history. I love like history, and I love ancient history. And I always think people that are religious might be kind of, I guess, hesitant to adopt some of the new things that we've found out about history, like how certain things might be older than we thought they were. And you can think, I mean, when it says God made how does it say that God made the earth in the
The heavens and
heavens
the earth.
in 7 days, right? Well, to
Well,
him,
in six,
seven.
he
Okay.
made it in
Right
six
on,
days.
right, and on the seventh, right. So, but that like 6 days to God could be like, could be a lot longer to him than to us. Like it could be not 6 revolutions of the earth, but to him it's a day. It could be the revolution of the entire universe or whatever. But
Yeah,
so yeah, so interesting to think of, because I don't think that, now you have these people who are adamant about this simulation theory. Like, well, the chances of us being in a simulation, and then they go all the way around the block just to explain basically God without saying anything religious.
right.
Like, oh, sorry about the dramatic zoom in there. I didn't need that. But yeah, it's just funny. I look at I love that as I've gotten older, I've become more spiritual. I don't necessarily connect to a specific religion. I mean, I more Christian than anything. But it is, I think, coming back. There's a resurgence. A lot of the world is kind of in a little turmoil. How do you view the insanity happening right now? Because I'll just tell you, I believe it's cyclical. Humans, the I forget the name of it, but the fourth turning. Hard times make hard men make easy times. Easy times make soft men, and it keeps going in a circle. I see it as a cycle, war and all of this. Like, people think everything's so crazy, but really we've had it kind of easy for the last century in some ways. You know what I mean? I guess with it's been big war, but before that it was roving bands of war everywhere. You know what I mean? I feel like it's still going in the right direction, although everybody around us thinks that everything's just falling apart. It's such a crazy time. It's a crazy time to be alive, Carol, but it's exciting.
Yes, I
It's
know.
exciting though at the same time.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
It's
Yeah.
just like people are so afraid, but why? This is life. There's so much to live for. There's so much to be, and I didn't always think that PTSD and all. I felt like I had no reason to be alive anymore for years. But now it's like I'm so full of like wonder about the world and how I can make an impact in a good way that's bigger than myself. And that's why I like talking to people like you and trying to like, let's get together and do this together. There's always a way to make a win-win, Carol. There's always a win-win. I'm always try to be honest about it. Like you don't, these people online that want to just be so helpful to you and that's all they will ever want to do. It's like you gotta be honest and be like, hey, there, there's a bet. It's a give and take. It's a back and forth within all society. Anyway, I had another point earlier, but I lost it. So I will say this: you have influenced me in a good way, in a positive way. I hope many other people as well, of course. And I definitely want to come up with like a little bit more stringent questioning for you sometime, maybe if you ever want to do this again, of course. But I'm so full of like I guess I don't want to say hope, but hope is probably the best word. Even though things are falling apart, what do you? Okay, let me ask you here. Sorry, I'm beating around the bush here, but there is a theory about our magnetosphere, which getting back to the crystals and the frequencies, that can cause people to start going insane. And there is a shift in the poles and stuff like that. I don't know if you pay attention to any of that, but I feel like there could be. It just is it's a sign of like changes of the planet. Sometimes will actually cause us to like get a little haywire, a little wacky. Do you think we're actually? Do you think we actually went around the moon? You think that's what? Think you see all the people who are really
Mean
skeptical?
today?
Yeah, you
Like
see all the
yesterday and
skeptics.
today?
Everyone's out there just proving,
I mean,
saying
I
that
don't
it's fake,
know.
and yeah,
I don't know
it's
because I
interesting.
believe
But
up until a year ago, I thought we did that in 1969. I watched it on TV as a
mm,
little girl. I thought it really happened. And then last year, I finally said, I don't think that really happened. It took me that long. I just wasn't paying attention to the people that were like, we didn't really land on the moon. I was like, yeah, I'll go away. But because it's hard to let go of a belief system that you've
mhm,
had for a long time, and people are really struggling right now, even with the beliefs that they have had about their health for a long time. We have been lied to for 100 years, you guys, and now that we're unraveling that and we're taking new discoveries and new technologies and new science, and we're seeing that we've been wrong for 100 years. It's hard to get people to accept that because they are so tightly clung to their belief system that if I have the sniffles, I have to go to the doctor or the drugstore, and pharmaceuticals are the only way. And people hold that and they
mhm,
will not let go of it. And that's okay. That's why I'm here. Okay. It was like, well, we can go that route if you need to. I do always warn people, look, there's gonna be side effects from anything man-made. Anything man-made you can name, where there's
mhm,
going to be side effects. You mentioned this whole electromagnetosphere of the earth. I mean, we've had, starting with the telegraph, the telephone, radio frequencies, television frequencies. We've gotten into this, 5G, 3G,
mhm,
all these Gs. We've got all these thousands of satellites circling the globe. We have, I don't know, what have we got? Wi-Fi. We got all this stuff going on around us. We got it in our phone.
mhm.
We're carrying it with us. We really think that that's not having any impact. I think that back when Moses wrote the book of Numbers, that those people could feel the healing energetic frequencies, that they could recognize them. How are we going to recognize that with all this
Right.
electromagnetic noise that we're surrounded with?
Good
So
point.
sometimes I feel like we're too far gone into this technology for us to really do a lot about it, as collectively, as a culture, as a planet right now. But I think that each person can do some things individually. You had mentioned that I'm always saying maha yourself. There are things that you can do. We don't have to wait on RFK Jr. and Department of, the Health and Human Services, to, because every time they take one step forward, the pharmaceutical industry pushes them two steps back. That's just
Mhm,
how it is. That's what's happening right now. But there's things we can do for ourselves, our families, our homes, our neighbors, our communities. I mean, there are things we can do to move the message and let people know there is another way and that we've been lied to. All of that stuff about cholesterol. All of that was a bunch of BS, and they got the
Hmm.
whole planet to go low fat diet, didn't they?
Yep.
Everybody
Counting
bought it.
carbs. Yep.
Everybody. And now the doctors are waking up and coming out with books and evidence that they lied to us about all of that stuff.
Hmm.
And now it's becoming common knowledge that that was all a bunch of crap. Okay.
Well,
So
I,
it takes a lot to kind of make those shifts and make those changes. That cholesterol thing came out in the 80s. Yeah.
mm, yeah, I mean, I always point to one thing that doctors and nurses, all medical professionals, they don't always have time during a busy, career to do like of the side research on things. And so, for instance, like stem cells for me is like such a cool thing, but a lot of doctors don't know anything about it. They don't. They're like, or you could say nefariously, they're not incentivized to push it because they don't get money from it and things like that. I'm sure that's all true. But at the same time, they also can't even. So for one example was ED. ED was made up. You probably know this. It was just made up by the pharmaceuticals because they had this drug that seemed to do the job, but it was
Yeah.
made for heart stuff. Like, how else
Yeah.
can we market this? Let's see. Oh,
Oh,
another thing.
there's this crazy side effect that these couples might enjoy. Yeah.
Right, like, but then now there's all these offshoots of that, Blue Chew and all these things. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But then there's things like the scientific journals that are being shown to not necessarily, or the accreditations aren't necessarily as solid as we thought, with people like James Lindsay, and I forgot his partner, but I don't know if you heard that story where they pushed through a bunch of accredited studies that was actually just nonsense. Like one of them, it was like the problem with rape in the dog community and stuff like this, and they ended up getting them accredited in these scientific places where we look for, like, our real knowledge. And for ED, like, doctors are going, oh, there's the magazine that comes out, oh, this new thing, oh, there's a drug to treat it, okay, done. Like, no research, no need to look into it. So.
That a lot of that here's what I experience when a patient, and I used to work in clinics with doctors. Patients come in, we see the patient, doctor does his thing, writes his prescription, whatever, patient goes out the door. I've worked in clinics, I see how it works. But and when people get their prescription, they'll ask, well, what is it for? And the doctor will say, this is, to bring down your blood pressure, to correct your blood sugars, to treat your cholesterol, whatever it was. And the patient, okay. And they take it to the drugstore, they get it filled, and they start taking the pills. The drugstore gives them these things, they staple it to the bag, but nobody reads them really. But when I say to somebody, have you ever tried, I don't know, echinacea for a cold? Have you ever tried oregano oil for a little tiny minor infection? Have you ever tried, well, what does it do? They have 20 questions. What does it do? Is there any side effects? Is there any studies? I mean, they start asking all these questions, and I'm like, dude, I have seen people like you not ask the doctor but one single question. And you want to sit here and grill me on oregano? What are you even talking about?
Right.
But
Like.
that's what happens, is that they have learned and been programmed and trained to accept whatever the medical community says to do. But anything natural, we have been trained that it's placebo, it's gonna hurt you, it's woo woo, it's you can't
Mm,
trust nature, all of this kind of stuff.
right.
Nature doesn't have side effects, you guys.
And
There's
if you're
you
an
cannot.
adult, you probably have tried oregano at least some point in food, and you would know if you had an allergic allergy to it, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if you have an allergy, there's an underlying problem.
Yeah.
People should not be allergic to harmless things like
Hmm.
animal dander and plants and strawberries and peanuts.
Hmm.
We should not be allergic to these things. You got something else going on that's creating those reactions.
Oh, I developed allergies to pets, and I
Yeah.
have two pets. I can
No,
tell you what
you
I
weren't.
developed. I had a
Yeah,
broken nose and I had a deviated septum, and the VA said, "Oh, no, well, nothing's wrong." So for 3 years, I had a deviated septum, and I guess you can get allergens, coming up there that shouldn't be, and then that's what they said developed it. Is that what you? Is that not true? You think?
no, no,
Okay,
probably
okay.
not. Probably not. It's just a deviation. It's just something was off crooked, but that doesn't affect an allergy. It might affect your
Hmm.
sense of smell or a couple of things like that, but not an allergy.
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
allergens can get up there because it's opened up wrong, or I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. They misdiagnosed it, and then I did get surgery, so I had sinus surgery, and now I have allergies to dogs.
Oh, yeah. No, there's something underneath the allergy to the dog. But you even use the word developed. We're not born allergic.
Hmm.
We do develop, and it's usually something that is starting. I know it's going to sound weird, but it's usually something that's starting in the gut.
Yes, I have. In the last 4 years, I've been moving to a more healthy lifestyle, but I'm still not 100% there. I still have a lot of
Nobody
those.
is.
Yeah.
Waylon, nobody's 100% there, and we're not going to get perfection. But everything we do that we can do to move in that direction is going to
Hmm.
benefit and help us. But even all these fancy gurus on YouTube, like Gary Brecka and them, they're not doing everything perfect. We can't.
Hmm.
We're too inundated in our culture and in our world now, too inundated with chemicals. We can't get it perfect.
Well, even, I like to think of it like this. Even if everything was perfect, say there was no chemicals, that like the whole world was perfect, you would still your whole life, like the idea, at least for me, is to strive to be better each day. And I know that sounds a little, cliche, but I don't care what level of health you're at. Why not always be trying to move towards a better, what I mean, like trying to go towards like I talk about self-sustainability. I say every person can do even a pinky toe's worth more of self-sustainability. um did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I am at work.
I know, that's why. Yeah, I'm like, do we got an emergency?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's all good. I just
that's
have
okay.
to, yeah, I
Hey,
just got to sign this real quick.
I can address a lot of things. There's a lot of comments happening, guys. I do appreciate it. Leslie, so Leslie's one guy I would say definitely should look into Ibogaine, brother. That just like, I don't want to try to regurgitate all the information, but Joe Rogan had a podcast with former Governor Rick Perry of Texas, and another gentleman that's the knowledgeable one about the drug. But ibogaine basically is a psychedelic, but it's not a fun psychedelic. It's not a. They say it's not recreational, but
Right.
it basically makes you relive, or like sort of take a uh, inventory of your life, more or less. You basically get to see like your whole life laid out, and it might not be easy to get through, but they say once, like, evidently PTSD and addiction and all sorts of other things are being helped with it. So I'm not going to tell you that you have to do it, but definitely go check it out, man. Maybe might be interested, although I don't know if you can just go get it. I'm sure you have to go to Texas and then get into some trials, like ApotheCarol was saying. You have to find some kind of way, but hopefully they can make some headway. You know what I heard recently? I was kicked out of the army for cannabis. Now, it took four years, so I was really trying. I had my once I was a reservist at that time, and literally, Carol, 2 days a month, and I was trying to stay away from the one thing that kept me from, feeling like I had no use in life. We'll just say it as in a nice way. Um, and it was like the one thing. I don't drink. I don't really like alcohol that much. I'll drink once in a while. But in the military, if you're not a drunk every day, then you're getting shunned. Like, it was crazy how much people drank. So anyway, my point is they kicked me out for cannabis, and now they're actually, I don't know if it's been passed, but they're talking about letting people back in the military who have had cannabis related, um, uh, discharges. So it's just funny. It's like full circle. Like, they threw me away like like a piece of garbage, and now they're like, hey, well, I guess we could let people come back. Very interesting that that's happening. And the VA is working with more psychedelics and cannabis and even MDMA, which I think MDMA and mushrooms seem to be like a whole different level than cannabis. They're just skipping over it and just looking into all these different things. Although I will say that opioids or cannabis, I mean, you have to like, don't we have to have some kind of pain medicine, right, for the masses? And right now it's opiates, right? That's the current world
Yeah.
we live in, and a lot of that can be replaced with cannabis. And I will say, smoking is probably not good for you. Obviously, very different than taking a gummy, like you said. So I struggle with that, but at the same time, the gummies and stuff don't do a lot for me. So it kind of that's my problem. But I'll ask a couple more. Like, what do you do personally, like for exercise? Do you do anything? Like, I know you're running around like crazy all the time, so maybe that's enough. But is there anything that you do,
Yeah.
yoga or anything like that?
So I had a really healthy yoga practice and a lot of walking was kind of my deal. And I had some resistance things, hand weights and exercise bands and that stuff. And so I had this really great practice going, at home. And it was just part of my life and had been for years and years. In July, I moved and like a lot of things changed. So I'm actually going to a gym once in a while,
Oh,
and that's kind of been different. When I was in my early 20s, I actually got into competitive bodybuilding for about 3 years. And so being back in the gym again is a little bit different. It's like, why am I back in the gym again? But there's just no good space where I'm living right now to really do what I was doing before I moved here. And so I'm still trying to kind of figure that out. But what I really recommend, especially for anybody over 60, I mean, under 62, it's probably easier for people under 60, but people that are 60 and older really need resistance work. It will strengthen your bones. It will help you, of course, the muscles, that's a given, but with balance and stamina, endurance, like it will really help you with those things. People over 60 don't want to do that. The best they want to do is go walking. You got to
mm-hmm,
get past that mindset, that resistance, like it literally, this osteoporosis you keep hearing about all the time, it will get better and you can prevent it with resistance work. And then
mm-hmm,
of course there are some, I usually will, if someone's got that, I'll supplementation. It's not just calcium, guys. It's not just calcium. You just take calcium, you're going to end up with calcifying your blood vessels.
mm,
There are other things, there are other minerals and vitamins that move the calcium into the bone. The bone itself is only calcium on the outside. Once you get past that outer layer, you've got an entire array of multiple minerals. You can't
mm-hmm.
just focus on calcium. So
Wow.
yeah, some of that just needs people that are thinking a little bit
Mm-hmm,
more. And then this artificial calcium that they create in laboratories and they want you to take and tell you it's calcium,
mm-hmm,
that's not as good. We really need a more natural sources of calcium. Your body knows the difference between synthetic vitamins and natural vitamins,
mm-hmm.
synthetic minerals and natural minerals, synthetic medications and natural medications. Your body's
Synthetic
smarter than
clothing,
you are.
synthetic materials, like with
There you
the,
go.
and don't get me wrong, like I wear exercise pants at the gym, and I'm thinking I'm wearing plastic pants. I'm wearing plastic pants as I'm exercising, so I might try to make some changes there. But
Yeah.
back to that, yeah, I'm actually going to the gym now too, and I found out they have a Taekwondo class at the gym, which I get in for free for having the gym, and so I need to push that out to my local community more because you guys, I was going to get back into martial arts for years. I was in it as a kid, but as an adult, you're like, can I justify $100 or $150 a month? Well,
Oh,
I'm just telling you guys, if you're in the
wow.
East Peoria area in Illinois, you pay for a gym membership at Eastside Center for, I think it was less than $300 for the year, and I can go twice a week to Taekwondo for free. Like, it's just insane. So I've been doing that, and let me tell you what, my hips don't work like they used to. I'll tell you, it's been the joints and everything. It's been crazy, but it's been good. It's been really good. Oh, but back to the synthetics though. I did want to bring up, and I don't want to get you angry. I don't want to get. I know the steam's gonna roll, but 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 what is the now I'm gonna lose it. It's the synthetic that they replaced for we talked about it in your autism space where they put that folic acid, folate and folic acid.
Folate and folic
Oh
acid, yeah.
my God, yes. It's Lord, please help us with the folic acid. Why do they keep shoving it in everything? Is there
Because
any
they
way?
can patent it. They can patent it. They get more money for it, and
You're right, but
yeah, just
it's like
yeah.
glyphosate. It's a similar. It's not the same, but it's a similar thing where they're shoving it in, they're using it whether or not the people want it. And I think hopefully us from the bottom up can make that change, like that post with that farmer that we both commented on, where it's like the farmer made the change. He jumped, he skipped out of that loop that he's in, where he's getting screwed over and being paid less and less for his crop, and he decided to sell it wholesale, direct to consumer. And stuff like that is where the future lies. I mean, just going straight to your farmers markets and stuff. Do you have a good farmers market where you live?
No.
Oh, it
I
sucks.
have to drive. I have to drive. I did where I was living before. I
Hmm.
was out in the Texas Hill Country, out in the country. It was very serene, great farmers market, the whole 9 yards. And now I'm in the middle. I am at the epicenter of the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. I've got
Hmm.
to drive about 45 minutes to the nearest decent farmers market. There's a couple closer, but they're small and limited, and they're
Hmm.
fine. I still want to support them. I want them to grow and get better, but to get to a really good one, I've got about a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, you
I
can't just make
actually,
small trips everywhere. Yeah.
yeah. And where I'm living, I'm actually in a food desert, which is really interesting. I've been hearing this
Oh, wow.
concept food desert, but when you're actually living in one, the grocery store that's closest to me, really the only grocery store within a 20-minute drive of me, is sketchy at best.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got to go 20 minutes to get, or 30 minutes depending on traffic, to get to a grocery store where I feel okay, I can at least get a bill of groceries here and feel good about it. Yeah.
Wow. Do you
Yeah.
I know you're busy, but do you or have you ever had your own little garden or anything like that?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, Waylon, that's how we met online,
It's been
was
a
talking
while.
about, yeah, talking about growing our own food. Yeah, no, I've had a vegetable garden for, see, my first one was in 2014. No, yeah, it was the spring of 2014 was my first one. And then I did not have one last year because I knew I was moving. Why put it all in there? I have
Right.
to leave. I knew I'd be moving around May, June, July. I'd moved in July, but now, no, the new one's getting all situated, and
Nice.
the seedlings are up. Some of them are in the ground. Some of them were, I'm going to let them mature a little more,
Sure.
get them in the ground. Oh no, I've been growing food for a
Hmm.
while. Yeah,
So you have
absolutely.
like, I just imagine you walk outside because I've never been to Texas. I just imagine you walk out and there's like a tumbleweed and it's just like brown dirt, brown solid ground.
That's some
Um,
of that out in West Texas. It depends on, Texas is enormous.
mhm.
Very a lot of topographical changes. So I'm in the North Texas. It's called the Blacklands Prairie in this
Hmm.
area.
I
Yeah.
almost I thought about moving to Texas, and I was looking at the Dallas Fort Worth area. I was like, what would be between? I was looking at little towns that would be between two big cities. That way I'd have options for whatever. And I
No,
decided not to do it.
it's one giant city. They
Oh
call it
wow.
they call it the DFW Metroplex. 8 million people. It's solid city. No,
Wow.
you're not going to find any little towns in between. Now you can go north, south, east, west, and you're
Mhm.
going to find some little towns out there, and and that's lovely.
Outside, it's
I
awesome.
I lived I lived outside the Metroplex for a while, but no, DFW is one giant, huge city, 8 million people. It's the biggest metropolitan area in the United States.
So my mom, hey, shouts out to Mama in the house.
Oh, hi,
She's
Mom.
asking, what about green-lipped mussel? Never heard of it. What is this about, Mom?
Green
Lemon
lift
cottontail.
mussel. Uh,
Green-lipped mussel. Maybe if you type that wrong, I'll give you a minute to correct it, but I'm not sure what that is, Ma. Green-lipped mussel.
yeah, I'm not seeing what you're seeing.
It's on the Facebook side. Facebook doesn't the comments don't come through. That's why I got my phone here to see those. Do what you got to do. Although I would need more, like for instance, Kick and X both don't come in, so I would need like multiple more devices to see all the chats. But that's why if you're
Oh,
watching us on X, guys, I cannot see any comments, and neither can Carol at the moment. So maybe I'll, if you have any questions or anything, comment below her post, and I can check it out afterwards. But yeah, come find us on YouTube or Rumble. But what was I going to say? Oh, so the whole time we've been talking, or at least part of it, I've been standing on this acupuncture, I guess. I don't know what pressure point plate that I've been standing on.
I know
Just
what you're
sitting here
talking about. It's
because my
got those. Are yours kind of rubber, like a hard rubber kind of that
hmm
you stand?
and there are a
Yeah,
bunch of
I know
these
what you're talking
little bubbles, and then each bubble or like round part has a bunch of little pokey spots on it.
about.
And yeah, so like I'm trying to get my feet like the pressure. There's something about, I don't know if it's plantar fasciitis or what, but I'm trying to get my joints and everything back in shape because I spent years not caring. Depression can be the quickest way for people to, what, you're talking health, what, I don't care. You know what I mean? Because they just shut everything off at that point. What do you do to kind of keep yourself in good spirits when you're around so much pain and people that are hurting and have, well, same thing, but you know what I mean, like people who are just not having a good day. I worked at a hospital for 5 years, and I was not the professional being asked questions. I was just doing other things, right? And that was still hard to be around all the people with the just ailments and the families losing the loved ones. What do you do? I mean, I know you play some music and have a space once a week, but like just the social aspect maybe is your way of diffusing that, or uh, you help a lot of people. Maybe that's how you feel fulfilled from it,
Yeah.
or what do you think?
Well, I mean, so I am in two bands. I do play music,
Oh, I
out
forgot about
live.
that. I forgot. We need to
Yeah.
talk about that. Yeah, yeah. Is that on
Yeah, my
screen, or I mean,
band.
or is that on YouTube or anything? You guys have anything
Um,
recorded?
So I just moved here in July, and a month after I got here, I got a call from one of the bands, and so I jumped in there. And then a couple months, like I think we did two or three shows together, and then the lead guitar player dislocated the two
Ooh,
fingers of his left hand out this way, and he's
nanu
just now
nanu,
recovering. I know. It
nanu
looked,
nanu.
guys, I'm not kidding when I say that these
Ouch.
two fingers were sticking out here. Like he bad this low, and there was a fracture. But anyway, he's
Hmm.
just now starting the physical therapy. So we get together and we just kind of, go over stuff and whatever. But we haven't played out since that happened. Oh, I think I had three shows with
Oh
them.
wow.
Well, now I'm in this other band as well. We have our first show this coming Saturday. And so I'm still real new with these guys. And so there's not going to be video of me with them. Now there are videos of me with other bands. And
Hmm.
that go back decades.
Sure.
And they're
What
all
do you
over the
play?
place.
What is
I
it you
play
play?
debate. I play electric bass. Yeah.
Electric
And I don't sing. I
bass.
do not sing. Yeah, I'm a bass
No,
player. Yeah.
not even some karaoke for fun after that
Oh,
after that sip of
no, no,
tequila.
no. I sing the harmonies, we like to do a lot of stuff like the Eagles with lots of
Sure, sure.
harmony and
Hmm.
yeah, that's always a lot of fun. But I like singing the harmonies, but no, I'm not a lead singer. You do not. They pay me not to sing, Waylon.
Ah,
That's not a
well,
good
I
idea.
I don't know if this is putting you on the spot or not, but maybe, just maybe, your band would need a harmonica player, you know?
Oh yeah, for Can't You See?
I can't actually play it. I was just making a joke, but I do play
Oh,
this sometimes. I do play it sometimes.
okay.
I was gonna show you by playing it instead of saying that, but I didn't want to
Go ahead.
subject you to it.
Play the harmonica for me. Yeah.
Usually when it's somebody's birthday and they come in, hey, what's up, Troy? Well, Troy just came in. Just for Troy coming in. Oh wait, hold on. My mom responded here. She says supports joints, ligaments, and tendons. This green lipped muscle. Interesting. I don't have to look into that, Mama.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way I can know everything about every supplement that's out there,
Nope.
guys. I mean, there's
Nope.
tons of
But
them.
like she
Yeah.
said, going away from synthetic and towards more natural, that's key. No matter which way, no matter what supplement you're talking about. I mean, and also not even going with things that just labeled natural, but actually looking into it, because I remember when GNC they found out, or I forget the story, but it had to do with fish oil, and you can go to GNC and just get any old fish oil, and most of the time it's being made from all the slaughterhouse scraps and they just squish it all, compact it all down and squish all the juice out of it or whatever's left. And so my point is like, where are they sourcing the vitamin, the supplements is important, you know. You talked about
Yeah.
salt when we talked about Himalayan salt, finding out there's like glass in it and other weird things that they're putting in it and stuff
Well,
like that.
there's, yeah, they'll take regular, you know, just plain junky salt, like rock salt, and they'll
Hmm.
color it pink
Yeah,
and put it in a thing and put Himalayan pink salt, and it's
I haven't
not.
heard
So
that.
you have
That's
to
crazy.
really be careful. Even olive oil,
Hmm.
they will adulterate olive oil. You have to be so
Honey.
careful, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Honey, that's another one that they'll adulterate it. They'll do this that's really water honey. It's not honey that's made from flowers, you know. And
No,
there's a lot of things out there. We cannot be too careful. You just have to really research everything. It's so sad. We should be able to go buy food, and food is food, and food is food, and all the food is
right.
grown fine, like it used to be when I was a little
Hmm.
girl. And now it's like, man, what have we done to our food supply? It is
Yeah.
so bad. It is so bad.
I mean, I totally agree, and I think it's good that we first earlier in the episode talked about how, hey, more or less, to boil it down, we talked about do what you can. You know, do what you can. You
Yeah.
don't have, don't be freaked out that you can't just completely get rid of all plastics today or whatever. Don't, you can't let that freak you out. But like you said, you can't be too careful at the same time. So you got to walk the rope of like, hey, I'm doing what I can, and I'll do more as much as I can, but let me look at, let me do, let me at least do what I know that I'm capable of doing, not just
Yeah.
doing as much as I feel like doing. You know, I don't know.
And
There's a line there.
what I tell people is, okay, you run out of something and you're going to go to the store and you're going to buy more of the same toxic stuff that you just ran out of. Look for something cleaner.
Hmm.
You're going to have to read the ingredients labels. You're going to have to look at your product. You might have to get online a little bit. There's an app called Yuka, I think it's Yuka. Um,
Okay.
but that, yeah, it's an app, and you can just point it at the barcode on the product, and Yuka will tell you if this is a clean product or not. I mean, like it'll give you information about your product.
This one here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that app, and you just point it at the barcode, and it will tell you all about that product and whether that's
Wow.
clean product, not a clean product, kind of in between. Like it'll give you information. Now you can make a decision when you get to the checkout stand. Every time you spend any money whatsoever at the checkout stand, you are voting. That
Hmm.
is a vote for something that is clean and healthy that you want for yourself and your family or not.
So vote
Yeah, you're voting,
for
or
what you want more of. Hmm.
you could be voting for garbage that is making you sick.
Hmm.
Every dollar you spend is a vote.
Yeah, I mean, and there's it's very easy to be alarmed about food when you look at all the stories. Like I've seen stories of China like literally making fake food to sell to other countries, like fake rice and stuff like that. That's why I keep telling people, and just to go to dip into politics for a second, if you don't like what's happening right now, if you don't like who's in charge right now, the best thing you can do is to take back a little bit more of your own responsibility, no matter what it is, whether it's growing your own food, you know, doing more for yourself, repurposing materials, getting healthier, exercise, whatever it is. And I think that's the best way you can not ignore the noise of the world, but you start to feel a little bit more empowered when you take more of that stuff back. I mean, I think most people would feel that way, but
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
guys, if you have any questions, we're getting close here. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know you probably asked some already, but if there was anybody watching that had any like burning questions, let me know. What's up, Elisa? Too many scams out there, Mom? Yeah, for sure. Too many scams. That's why growing it out of your own ground with your own hands is about the best thing that you can do. You know. Uh,
Plumber Blue on my end is it told you you need to stick with the cowbell, Waylon. Just so you know, instead of the harmonica.
Oh, he's that's Chris P. And
Okay.
when he gets upset, we call him extra crispy.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, he's fine. I'm voting against Ronald McDonald. Yeah, listen, like used to like I remember it. I still haven't had McDonald's fries in years, but I remember how good it was. Oh, the
When they
salt
used
and the
lard, yeah,
yeah.
back when they used
But
lard, oh, delicious. Yeah, they
well,
should stick
either
with
way,
that.
have you tried the for just for research purposes? Have you tried the Steak and Shake fries
I've,
since they went
I've
back
been
to?
to Steak and Shake. I
Yeah,
went just for that. When I heard
me
they would
too.
do that, I said, okay, I'm going to do this for one
Hmm.
meal. Even though there's other things about their food, it's like if I
Hmm.
were in charge of Steak and Shake, I would still change a few more things. But I wanted to support them and I wanted to do a write up on X. And so I did. I went and had me a Steak and Shake
Well,
burger and
nice.
fries, but did my little write up.
Yeah, it's content, but also you're voting that way, but also pushing something that we want more of. So
Yeah.
a company like Steak and Shake can say, look, I'll like it upticked so much because of just the fries that maybe we'll do this other thing now too. Like well whatever, we'll change something else or.
Okay. I'm answering a question that I see. Blue wants to know what kind of bands I play in. So the one with the guitar player with the broken fingers, that is a blues band, and we do a lot of it's kind of old school blue. Albert King,
Nice.
Freddie King, like
That's
yeah,
his
the
kind of
old
stuff too. Yeah, he
old
loves
school
that.
blues. Then the other one is a classic rock band. I've been in many classic rock bands. But yeah, the other one is classic rock. We got a couple of tunes from the 60s, more from the 70s, a lot from the 80s, a few tunes from the 90s, 2000s, but yeah, that's what it is. I'm a boomer. I play boomer music. How about that?
Right. Loretta brings up a good point. We were talking about eating healthier, and it can cost a little bit more. But here's the thing, Loretta. She said $5.50, two oranges, and an organic English cucumber at the farmer's market. I don't actually, I don't know that she's saying that it's expensive or not. Let's just take Loretta out of it. I love you, Loretta. Let's just say that people do say that's a talking point a lot of times. Healthier is
I know.
expensive.
Yeah.
But you're paying less on the back end, right, Carol? I don't know if that's where you're about to go, but like you might not take as many trips to the doctor's office, right?
Well, that's one point. You're going to be healthier. You're not going to need as many over-the-counter medications. You're not going to be at the doctor as much with all your co. You guys still got to make that deductible and that
Hmm. Hmm.
co-pays and all that stuff, guys. Then you got to go pay for your prescriptions. Like you're going to save on the back end. But look, how many cars are you going to own in your lifetime? How many phones are you going to own in your lifetime? How many purses or
Hmm.
whatever, televisions? You get one body. We're willing to pay a little extra to get that better iPhone, to get those extra features in our car, to get that name brand on our purse, to go get our nails and our fake eyelashes glued on there and stuff, but we're not willing to pay more for what is we're putting in our mouths?
Hmm.
Somebody's
Yeah,
got to
totally.
explain. Somebody needs to explain that to me. It's
Hmm.
priorities. It's just about priorities. Yeah.
I agree completely. Like that's why I started this journey. I was like, let me look, I don't know enough about the grocery store to only get healthy stuff out of it. So let me just like make an attempt at growing something. And now I'm to the point where I can't grow all my food, but I do supplement stuff.
Yeah.
I'll get something from the store and like, boom, I'm cutting some green onions out, broccoli, some
Yeah.
purple kohlrabi. I gotta. Oh, by the way, Carol, I challenge you to try and use talk to text and get any system to say purple kohlrabi without saying call Robbie. Anyway, so just because it sounds like it wants me to call someone named Robbie. No, like because I can't. Sometimes I can't spell it. Kohlrabi is a weird word, and I'm like, let me try to.
Yeah.
Nope, doesn't work. Anyway, there's a lot of vegetables and fruits and stuff that people just don't know about, and that's why I've just been kind of gluing myself into this whole community of health influencers. But then, like you said, not everybody has all the answers. And then you see these like knockoff or these like fad products that are all sort of maybe based off of one product that was good, and then they just come out with all these other brands that are junk, like the remineralizing gum or like the oregano oil, black seed oil, oregano oil combo. There's a bunch of companies now coming out with that, and you don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to know which ones to go with. Do you happen to have a source, maybe a website or anything that you trust that you kind of go for health information?
When it comes to products, the supplement products, Consumer Lab, singular, consumerlab.com, but it is $50 a year. I get it because I work with a lot of people and they've got these
Mhm.
questions. And so what I'll do is sometimes I will, for one of my clients, okay, I will go to Consumer Lab and I will go through all of their supplements for them and let them know how it stacks up. It's a third party independent tester, so it's not like a pharmaceutical.
Mhm.
When Advil or aspirin or any pharmaceutical medication, it's the manufacturer, it's the pharmaceutical company that does their own testing and then files the report with the FDA. Well, this isn't like that. You make your supplements, and then this third party comes in. They're randomly sampling your supplements, and then they're going to tell the world whether that thing is what you say it is or not. All right, they
Mm.
don't have any vested interest in you. They're getting their money from people like me that are paying $50 a year for this information. They don't
Mhm.
need it from the pharmaceutical company or whoever's manufacturing that supplement. So you're getting a more objective analysis. Yeah, I can't trust what any pharmaceutical company says. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I don't trust either. Like I fully believe pharma is trying to take over the facilitation of cannabis as it becomes more popular, so popular in our culture at least that they can't hold it back anymore. Like how alcohol was like just prohibition. That's funny because it just got worse when they did that. So I think I think with cannabis it's going to just keep getting more popular, even if they keep trying to push it down and trying to make it less legal and or whatever they're doing now. They keep trying to retract. A lot of states are trying to retract legalization and stuff like that, and they're trying to put it in the hands of bigger interests like corporations and pharma and stuff like that. And I just fully believe that's what they're doing. They're just going to say, "Oh, well, don't worry, alcohol," because alcohol is also trying to fight cannabis, and they're saying, "Well, don't worry, we'll just it'll be on the shelves in the pharmacy soon. Don't worry about it. It won't be in your bars." So I
Yeah.
definitely, for one, am more about trying to empower people directly. I like the whole ApotheCarol thing. It's cool, but it's also like apothecary, and it makes you think of the holistic healing and actually knowing what plants we have all around us. Like everyone calls a lot of the plants weeds that are in your backyard, and a lot of that is medicine or food, and just insane. Let me ask you this: I've seen a bunch of these little commercials for like this book, and it's an old man with a beard, and he's telling you about this book, this guide that he has of like all these the different plant medicines and stuff. Like there's a few different ones like that where they're trying to advertise um, like a guide on herbalism and stuff like that. Where would you go to look at with that kind of stuff? Any kind of sources, or you just know from years of experience?
So there is a book called Eden's Garden, and it was written back in the 1930s. Oh, go there. I've
Oh
got it. I've
wow.
got my mother. I have my mother's copy of that book that was given to her by her mother. But I've also got a new one too because I don't want to mess up the old one. But that one's a good one. It talks about all kinds of different plants. I do spaces from time to time on foraging plants that are medicinal and plants for food. Like there's
Hmm.
stuff growing out there saying they're telling us it's weeds, but it's perfectly acceptable. I mean, it's good food. You can eat it
Hmm.
for food. So, yeah, there's a lot of books out there, you guys. When I started this health journey for myself, there wasn't very much out there, but it's really exploded because people know it's the truth. This is true, and so yeah, you're gonna find
Hmm.
lots and lots of books online. But it's just like anything else. Do your research, read the reviews. If you can go to the bookstore, half price books, they still have those, and they do.
Oh yeah,
But go,
yeah.
yeah, go
Instead
in the
of right,
library,
I
yeah, in the
see.
library and whatever. And look at the book for yourself. Flip through it. Is that the resource book that's right for you or not? And if it is, a lot of times if it's a good reference book, I'll put it on Kindle and download it into a device. And then maybe I'll also have a copy on the shelf. Like I have some books I've got like 3 or 4 copies of, and I'll give them
Mm,
away and stuff because they're that good. But you have to decide if it's the right one for you. The ones, just because I like it and I'm using it and
mm,
it's helped me a lot, there's so many out there. Check it
yeah.
out. Go check it out.
I'm glad you said that because it sounds like there are books that are already out there that are good, and if you don't necessarily want to get sucked into some new book that's being written because you have a lot of people who just jumping on a bandwagon or trying to like push something out to make money. So look at those more tried and true sources. That's a good point. Let me ask you another question, and I guess we can get wrapping up soon. I want to know if you have any other resources that you look for on the news, like health news, because I my show on Wednesday is me and Tala. Shouts out to First Light Warrior on X. She's probably watching now, but her and I talk about any sort of health articles or news or videos we see from all over the interwebs. And I'm always looking for more sources of like, hey, like credible news on, stuff happening within our health. It doesn't have to be political or bad. It just, just any sort of new source that you might use. Is it just X mostly? Because you probably follow some pretty knowledgeable people over there already. So yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I follow a lot of experts. I just that's but there is this guy and it's I think it's called the Robert or it's robertscottbell.com, I think. See if you can pull that one up, Waylon. Um or it's the robertscottbellshow.com. I can't remember. But Robert Scott Bell has been in this since 2000, maybe somewhere in there, or shortly after. And he does a show 6 days a week, 2 hours a day. He's a friend of mine. And I've been following, I saw his picture down there, that
yeah,
picture. He's
I was
kind
trying
of
to find his
red background.
website.
Yeah, it's Robert Scott Bell. I think it's robertscottbell.com. I think so. Um,
Oh,
but on X, he's Ask Robert Scott at Ask Robert Scott Bell or Ask RSB is what he is on X. But his show is really good and it's health, a lot of health stuff. They do go into politics on Thursdays for 1 hour with his friend Jonathan E. Mord, who is a constitutional attorney. They get into the Constitution and political stuff,
sure.
which I really like because I do not follow politics well. I'm not very well schooled in it all, so I really have to rely on, because I can't rely on the news. I don't even know what these people are
Right.
talking about. They're not telling me the truth. So I really do have to look. And he's not the only one. I do others too when it comes to
Sure.
politics, listen to various voices. Um, but the rest of the time, the rest of his 12 hours a week is all pretty much health related. And it's a good show and he's a wonderful man. We've been friends for a while now, and in person friends.
Oh,
He
cool.
lives in Utah, so we've met up in different conferences and things along the way. But I really like him. And there's a lot of guys out there and gals that are really trying to do the right thing, and I agree with them a lot of the time. And one of them is Gary Brecka. I think he's pretty smart about things. There's some things I feel like, Gary, you're pushing too many supplements. Sometimes I feel like that a little bit. Sometimes it's too much high tech. Let's get back to the low tech that we've been using for thousands of years. Why are we going to this high tech? And I don't think we need some of the high tech. Go out in the sun. Why are we buying all these expensive lights? Go out in the sun. So there's those kinds of things that will differ, but he's not wrong. It's just that my perspective on it might be a little different than his. So I like
Sure.
Gary Brecka. Yeah, that's Robert Scott Bell right there. Yeah,
Well, I mean, as
he's.
far as X goes, I mean, they can anyone that wants to follow Carol definitely you can actually go to her the top of her page and see all these other people that she follows, and take your pick. I
My
mean, I
my
for sure.
calendar is there. You scroll down just a
There it
minute.
is.
There's my calendar for my spaces and the topics that we're having.
Oh, here,
Um,
let me make it bigger.
so it's always there. It's always my pin post at the top of my profile, and is when April's over, the one for May will come up. But yeah, it's a different topic every week. I do bring in guest speakers, and those are the circles you see down the side there, down the left-hand side of that. I bring in guest speakers that are smarter than I am and can speak
Hmm.
on topics much better than I can. And we just, it's everybody's learning together. And then people can come up and actually speak. That's the nice
Hmm.
thing about it is, when we do a little presentation, but then people can actually get a microphone, come and talk to us, challenge us, ask us questions, tell us your stories, whatever it is. So that's why I really just kind of, it's been kind, and I can do it in my pajamas while I'm drinking coffee. I don't have to get,
Yeah,
I don't have to get dressed up, you know.
I get the appeal of it for sure.
Yeah.
Or I was gonna say, or just someone just hog the mic for 5 minutes until you have to
Right.
take it away from them.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, the spaces are such a different kind of world, and
it is.
it's just not my main medium, and so it's hard for me to get over there.
Yeah.
Plus, since I talk for 10 to 20 hours a week on my own shows. It's hard for me to be that person that's so thirsty to get the mic, I need to speak. And so I'll come up and I'll just talk for like, I'll be quick about it. And then it makes me less memorable than those people who who just want to take the mic nonstop. I
But
find
you
it
know,
difficult.
Waylon, I have people that have been coming to my spaces for 5 years that have never taken a mic.
I
They just
believe
put
it.
their they, it's kind of like your comments here on
Hmm.
your in your show, your comments there, it's kind of like that. They post them down in the comments, and we go down there. We dip down in there and we look for them, and we'll answer those questions too. I get it. Not everybody wants to get up and talk, but it's nice to have the other voices and that back and forth exchange among several people. We have to really kind of set some guidelines and protocols, or it can get a little crazy. But
You
it
run a
works
good
out
space.
well.
Yeah, you
I
run a
love.
good space.
It's my listeners that make it good.
Well,
They're
what I mean is
wonderful.
like, yes, and I don't want to take anything away from them, but you can't escape this compliment here because you're the one that's in charge there, and you have wackadoos that are always coming in those spaces, and you do really well at keeping track of who's next. And Doc Martin, of course, she's great,
Yeah.
and so you have some help there too. But yeah, no, like I've been in so many spaces where I'm going, they skipped me twice. Okay, I'm out of here. Like, just stuff that's just etiquette and things that just don't make sense. And or
Right?
everyone's just talking at the same time, and that just gets
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
no, I
mean,
can't do that. Can't handle that.
I've had plenty of on-screen live shows like that, but that's usually when we're just hanging out. There's so many different terminologies online. Like a lot, me just going live is just hanging out, but this is a show, but it also happens to be live. Like there's just so many different silly things. Anyway, I want to
FX
go ahead.
FX Genetics says sassafras tea is the bomb. I love it.
Oh,
I love
nice. I've never
sassafras
had
tea.
it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I'm the tea. I'm tea crazed. I've got so many teas and herbs and essential oils, and I make tinctures. And I've just got you. You want to say apothecary? That's how I
Hmm.
got the name. My daughter walks in the kitchen one day. She goes, "I'm gonna start calling you ApotheCarol. Look at all this." It was like bottles and jars and
That's what it
herbs and all
was.
this stuff
Okay.
everywhere. That's just what
I
it
should have
was.
asked you that. Okay, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good to know. Your daughter. You have just the one daughter. Any grandkids?
I have one daughter, and then 4 years younger than her, I have a son. No grandkids. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
me,
the
me
two.
neither. Um, I want to point everybody to your group as well. If you go follow her on X, go check out the group Wholyhealth. Of course, it's more or less to concentrate your people into even more so into the group on, or I guess they call them communities on X, and you can
Yes, and
post
yeah,
anything else.
community. Yeah, the
Yeah,
community.
I call them group on Facebook. It's the same thing. It's just different name. Yeah, you can go here and you can see things from her other community members who also post in here, and so
Right.
you can kind of get a little bit of connection to everybody, and not just Carol, but she's brings a lot of people together with the knowledge. It's great.
And I do a lot of teaching videos, and those are for my subscribers. It's $1 a month to subscribe, and I donate that dollar. I wait until we built up some, a
Sure.
decent amount. Like right now, the target. We've already been done a couple of donations. We're waiting for $500, and then we're going to donate. But we donate it to organizations that are fighting for health freedom. And right now, there's an organization that Zen Honeycutt founded that is in the fight against glyphosate, the glyphosates that's poisoning our food. So we're going to probably donate to that organization. But as a subscriber, I'm posting videos in there. I did a video series on anxiety and stress, a video series on blood pressure, a video series on Alzheimer's and dementia. I think that one was 7 videos or something. Like I do these video series, and each one's about an hour, and you can get in there. You can learn a lot about these different topics, and that's $1 a month. I do that
That's
one.
awesome. And you
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure
fun.
save
That's
that
good.
you save that stuff on your computer and stuff, right? That's not just on X.
Yeah, it's in my
Yeah,
computer.
yeah,
I should put that
because
on Rumble, right?
You can put it like everywhere. Like that's what I was just thinking about it as you said that. I'm like, all these topics are, they're going to be topics 10 years from now. So you label that video and you can post that anywhere or put it on your website behind a paywall or whatever, and you have these solid, layouts of each topic or whatever. I want to point out, I don't know, Lisa May, if you're still here. Shout out if you're still here, Lisa. I want to tell you, I don't know when that autism space was that you did, but that was one of the most eye-opening spaces for parents that have kids with autism because of all the questions and all the frustrations and everything. And so I really hope that you're still here. I meant to bring it up a little bit ago, but I don't know. Is there a way to find that space still?
All my spaces are under the highlights tab. If you scroll
Okay,
down, just right underneath the community banner, it says, yeah, right there. It highlights. You right above. Oh, you went up. You went down too far. Go back up.
I clicked it.
Okay, yeah, there highlights. Oh, you did click it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Hmm.
be, and it'll be way down there somewhere. Unless you
Right.
know what day I did it, you're gonna have to scroll through all of
Mm,
my old space. All my old spaces are in there.
it's been a while.
And then another way is just like if you DM me and say, "Hey, can you look back and see when you did that autism space?" Then I can go back through my calendar, find it, and tell you what date, and that might help you find it. But I'm not gonna find it for you.
That's
That's
okay.
just
Yeah,
me. But
I wouldn't expect
yeah.
that, but I just
But at
and
least then
I
you have a target of what are
sure.
you getting close as you're scrolling through all my spaces. That's the only way to group the spaces where in one place where people can find it. It's the only way that X really gives us to do that. Yeah.
And I don't expect Elisa to have time to go back and find it either, but I think you would benefit from it. It's there's so many things. Like I don't think it was a space that can teach you how to cure your child of autism,
No.
but there are plenty of insights in there that can at least give you some. I don't know if peace of mind is the right way to say it, but I think more and more, my opinion is that all these psychoses and mental issues, and then you have the disabilities and you have the different abilities like autism, and um, I think it's all a symptom of the same thing. And we talked about with technology, with chemicals, with all these different things combined happening to us all around us. And some of us think we're more normal maybe than maybe someone that has a disability, but we aren't. Like almost nobody right today is fully, um, I guess, spared from this epidemic of all the plastics and chemicals and glyphosate and you name it. I could keep going on and on and on. But that was what was enlightening about autism, is like, hey, it makes so much sense that while the child's blood-brain barrier is being developed and adult humans are taking on all these toxins, those toxins are obviously going to get through the blood-brain barrier when it's not fully developed, and boom, you have a various, what we call a spectrum maybe of various differences, and we can't seem to put our finger on it. Why is everyone so different? Well, it's because we're all getting a different cocktail of toxins. Like everyone's different with what you might be eating and not eating. And anyway, it's alarming, but also kind of awesome that we kind of are zeroing in a little bit more on some of the causes, which also I think connect to other things, right? All these other mental instabilities, and to bring it to like the homeless, which the term homeless, who was that? Was that somebody on Rogan was like the term homeless is a propaganda term. It's like these are people who are severe mental illness that could not function in society even if you gave them a home and a job and stuff. And so it's just it's scary, but I think we can all take solace that there are people like Carol and like to a lesser degree myself pointing fingers at this stuff and trying to make it more popular just to be, because everybody's got to eat. That's what I always say. Everybody's got to eat. Literally everything builds from that. Every single thing in life builds off of that. So you can't ignore it and just go, oh, I love reading magazines about Brad Pitt's junk or something, instead of like thinking about my health. And I think we got to make it more fun, more exciting, Carol. More, we got to have rock stars in the farming industry. We got to have celebrities and stuff like that. And although
Well,
you're
because look. Look what they're bombarding us with in the media, and it's in
Hmm.
every media that you can think of, even the, YouTube, watching YouTube, and here
Hmm.
come the commercials, Facebook, here come the commercials.
Oh yeah.
They're bombarding us with toxic stuff, and it's like they're preaching that you've got to have this stuff. And the fact is, we don't need that stuff. There's much better options that are much healthier. They might be a little more expensive, but they're probably going to last longer, and they're definitely not going to make us sick.
Hmm.
And we can find those things, but you're right. It's about people coming together and saying, "Well, where can I find this?" And we did a space 2 weeks ago where all we talked about was the toxins in our home, spring cleaning, right? All the toxins in our home, from our laundry detergents and cleaning products, and the Glade scent things and the
Hmm.
Febreze things and all this stuff. We
Scented
can make
candles.
it. You can make that stuff so much cheaper,
Hmm.
and maybe not candles. Like, I'm not going to get into candle making, you guys. I got my limits. But what do I look for in a cleaner candle?
Hmm.
And they're cheaper than the Yankee candles. I'm just going to tell
Right.
you, a clean candle is not going to cost you what Yankee candles are costing. But making my cleaning supplies and stuff so much cheaper, and I
Hmm.
don't have to use the plastic bottles. I have glass bottles. I don't have to use
Yeah.
the plastics. Like, there's so many ways that we can do things that will save us money. So now we got a little bit more money to spend on the most important thing we can buy, and that is our food. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel like I'm going in circles with you. I think everybody needs to go and follow. And you can't find her on. You're not going to find her on Facebook. That's her personal family place. But
Okay.
I do encourage everybody to go to X. It's free. Some of my liberal friends may not want to go over there, so that's fine. But you can learn through the rest of us learning from her. So how about that? But
Yeah,
yeah, go.
you're not gonna find a lot of politics on my thing. If it is, it's gonna have something directly connected with food, health,
Health. Yeah.
Maha stuff, because they are making policy up there, guys. That's just how it is. But you're not gonna find a lot of politics on my X feed. Yeah.
I mean, in politics, to me, people are so afraid of politics, but politics is literally every aspect of our life. Like
It's
it's
governing
in
everything
everything.
we
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
So like if you if you can't pay attention to it, that's why I tried. That's why I started my show on Wednesday. It was like, hey, let me take a minute out of everything else I'm doing to kind of look at other stories and articles about health and find out what's happening in the world. And so yeah, I love it. Well, hey, if go ahead.
Lila Rose has an interesting question, so maybe we
Okay.
could just close with
Sure.
this
Sure.
because I'd like to answer this. This is a really good question. Thank you, Lila, for asking. What are my three favorite natural medicinal go-tos?
Hmm.
So I'm gonna kind of shape that question a little differently and say I'm gonna say my three go-to supplements that I think everybody should have. Okay, and it doesn't matter what your health condition is. We all should have this as a foundation because we're not getting it from our food anymore. It's just not there. So, and we need this. Your body, if you take out every molecule of moisture from your body, all you're left with is a big pile of minerals. But the minerals aren't in our foods the way they used to be when I was a little girl. We need minerals. So I recommend a good quality liquid mineral supplement. It's more bioavailable, it'll absorb more readily, and it will help you keep that good mineral balance in your body. Okay, so a good liquid mineral supplement. And yes, I can tell you the name of mine, but you should go and the only reason I'm using this one, I'm not saying it's the best. This is the one
Right.
I've been using since 2003. I've never deviated, and it may not be the best. They may have come up with better ones. This is the one I use. Do your own research. It's called Concentrace. Concentrated trace minerals. Concentrace. Concetrace. Okay, concentrate. So I use that. Then I think everybody needs to bump up their vitamin C. I'm sorry, they're telling us you need 250 milligrams, 500 milligrams a day. BS. That is not true. You need between 5 and 10,000 milligrams a day just to stay healthy. If you get
Hmm.
sick, you need to bump that up.
Mm. Right.
So, so look for liposomal. the word liposomal, vitamin C. There's many brands out there. I don't even remember what the one that I'm using right now. I kind of play with different ones. Kirkland's, the Costco actually has one, but it's in pill form. I don't like those big pills. I usually go
Hmm.
with the liquid, but theirs is actually a very good quality, and they're only 1,000 milligrams per pill, so you have to take a bunch of pills. That's why I like the liquid with the vitamin
Hmm.
C.
Hmm.
I can just squeeze off that stuff in my smoothie and drink that
Sure.
down in the mornings. So we're not getting enough vitamin C. The other thing is vitamin D.
Hmm.
Now, you can take vitamin D all day long in a supplement form. It may or may not help you. It just depends on how healthy your gut microbiome is. Okay. I really recommend you get your butt out in the sun. They lied to us about sunshine, you guys. That is
Yeah.
not giving you cancer. What's giving you cancer are those seed oils, those
Hmm.
toxic oils that they're putting in all of our foods. It's in all the foods in every restaurant except now the steak and shake fries. Okay, they're using beef tallow. But other than that, go ask the restaurant what kind of oils do you use. You're gonna see it's junky, crappy oils, and that what is your skin used to moisturize itself with? Oil. It'll pull it from the inside out, and now you're burning it. You're out in the sun. Stop. Yeah.
So,
Get you clear the seed oils out of your life and see when you're smart about and you got to be smart about sun exposure. You can't just go out there the first day of spring or whatever and stand out there for 5 hours at the beach. Of course you're going to burn. What do you think this is? But
right.
you're not going to have these problems that we're having with all these skin cancers. That's what's
Hmm.
causing it, y'all.
Well, I mean, I think that there are other ways to get some of those vitamins too within our food instead of just trying to load up on pills or stuff. But I think to your point, we can't get it out of the food, but we can at least get a little more than we were if we start being more
Yeah.
conscious about our food. Um,
Yes.
what do you think of this? Uh, this I'm seeing it a lot more, but parasite cleanse. Everybody like I'm like a paranoid that I must have a parasite or something. I'm gonna start doing that. But what would you be your go to, like ivermectin, or is it oregano oil, or what would be the
So
right way?
everybody has parasites. Sorry guys, everybody's got parasites. Okay. And
Oh.
we can live harmoniously with certain parasites for, as long as they stay under control and everything's good and it's symbiotic relationship and everything's fine. But when we start getting sick, we need to look at maybe some of that stuff's getting out of control. You
Mm.
can take ivermectin, but ivermectin does not work on every single kind of parasites that are carried
Hmm.
in the human body. So that's when I'm going to be like, you're going to go to your combination wormwood, clove, and what is it? A black walnut. Okay, wormwood, clove, black walnut. You can get them in combination. There's many different brands, whatever. You do your little research and then go online, figure out how to use it. Most of the people that are really, really good in this area, like I had Dr. Lee Merritt, she is considered the expert on parasites.
Mm.
She goes all over the country talking about this. She's written books. Everybody has her on their podcasts. And I had her in my space. I've met her at a conference and we hit it off. She's so sweet. We had dinner together. So I love
Mm.
her.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, um, she, she and others will tell you that a lot of the activity of parasites in terms of breeding and eggs hatching and egg laying and that kind of stuff is governed by moon cycles. So you're going to have to do a little bit of research about when to start your parasite cleanse, when to stop it, when to restart, because you want to catch all the stages, not just the adult. You want to
Oh.
catch the larva. You want to catch the eggs are tough, you guys. Those eggs, they're sneaky
Hmm.
buggers. You gotta wait until they're in the larva stage, kill that, because you're not gonna kill the eggs themselves. Yeah.
You couldn't just take was it the black seed oil, oregano oil that's also supposed to help with that? Maybe I'm getting things mixed up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Um,
the people like
black
take it
black
every day kind of thing, just all the
Black
time.
black black seed oil is very helpful for many things.
Mm.
Oregano oil. Think of oregano oil as nature's antibiotic, and it's
Oh yeah,
actually
yeah.
oil. It's oil of oregano, not oregano essential oil. That's different. Not the
Oh,
essential. It's oil of oregano.
that's
Okay,
true.
that's
Yeah.
nature's antibiotic. Antibiotics don't kill parasites. Yeah.
Um, I'm seeing quite a few comments. Elisa May says literally everything gives you cancer. Well, I don't know about that, but maybe it seems like that. They say parasites are what start tumors or and cancer. I don't know.
There is a link, there is an association between the parasites and the cancers, and a
Hmm.
lot of cancers, because they'll, think of the diagnostic tools that they've got to screen for cancer. A lot of times what they're diagnosing as cancer could actually be parasites, is what we're finding. So there's still a lot of research being done about that. Well, not a lot, not as much as we should, and it's not being done by the pharmaceutical industry because they want you on chemotherapy. Okay, so but there is emerging research on this link between the cancers and the parasites right now. So yeah, that's not far out there. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people talk like Leslie uses ivermectin, hasn't been sick. Well, like she said, Leslie, it maybe taking care of most things, but there might still be a little bugger in there. We got other things. I mean, hell, there's like tiny bugs around every hair follicle. Like people, we don't realize like there's just stuff living out. Like we are a walking hotel for so many things. And have you done any research on like the probiotics and prebiotics craze? Like, is it good to take those kind of supplements, or should we just do it with
Yeah.
food and other ways? Do you take anything like that?
So you can take probiotics, or you can get them naturally through fermented foods, like fermented vegetables, not pickled. Sauerkraut,
Ah.
kimchi, kefir. You can ferment vegetables at your house. Like, you
Hmm.
just look up online how to ferment vegetables and ferment whatever you want to ferment with your veggies. Um, and you can get a lot of probiotics that way. That's also going to give you the prebiotics. The prebiotics are basically the fiber that's
Mm.
in those plants. That's the prebiotic that the probiotics are feeding off of. Or you can take your probiotics, synthetic probiotics. I've talked with at length. Dr. Sabine Hazen and I have been knowing each other for 5 years now. I've talked to her many times and asked her a lot of things about probiotics. And she's like me. She's like, well, you can take them and they might help a little, but your best bet is just to get it naturally through your food. And then the prebiotics, even if you're taking a probiotic, the prebiotic, again, that's going to come from plant fiber. You need that fiber that the bugs, the probiotic bugs, are going to eat that in order to grow. That's just how it works. So, you don't have to take a separate prebiotic. I think that's a waste of money.
Yeah, that makes sense. And actually, with the cleanse, people are talking about, and I makes so much sense to like know when to start and when to end it. I never thought about that. I just kept thinking, oh, I'm just gonna get something one day and I'll just start taking it. But
Yeah.
Cullen says 50%. He read that 50% of school grade kids have a parasite. Now, she
Maybe
just
more. Could
yeah,
be more.
that's what I was just gonna say. You made an alarming statement there because I kept thinking there was a little piece of me that thought, well, maybe I don't have one because I heard a statistic was like 80% of people have a parasite,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
probably. That's
and
probably
you're
that's probably true.
well, I think that we have a normalcy bias, and those of us who hear, well, there's a chance that I'm fine, then we end up not doing it. So, like, would you say it's the bad thing to do something like that, even if you don't have parasites? Like, hey, just let's take a little something and maybe help antibiotic and things like that with the oil of oregano. Like, there's other benefits to a cleanse, I guess. Like, is what I'm getting to.
If there's an 80% chance that if you get up out of bed today, you're going to die, but if you stay in bed, you won't die. Like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
It's like, come on, guys, wait,
That's
think about
true. That's
it.
true. That's true. Yeah.
No, it doesn't hurt to do one. I think, I mean, I do it 4 times a year. I don't go testing my stool for parasites. Your stool tests are not going to catch them anyway, usually in the
Those cool
state that.
videos with the worms flying around in the toilet. I don't know if they're real or
Yeah,
not, but yeah.
yeah. Well, you'll see that if you start deworming yourself, okay? And don't freak out. It's just like this. It just is what it
Mhm.
is, y'all.
Mhm.
And just but yeah, it's not going to hurt you. It's clove, black walnut, and wormwood. It's not going to hurt you. And
Hmm.
just follow the directions, but look it up on the internet
Well,
so you
that's what
have a
you do.
guide.
Okay.
Yeah,
Clove,
I
black
just do
walnut,
it.
and
I just, every 3 months I just do it. And I may catch them all, I may not catch them all. We've been living happily together for quite a while. And yes, it could. if I don't take care of my health, they will get out of control, and they could wind up looking like something that looks like cancer.
Mm,
But the same is true for skin. These things, these sunblocks that we're putting on
yeah.
our skin is causing your cancer when the sun hits it. These man-made chemicals. You guys got to start thinking
Hmm.
in terms of man-made chemicals are not conducive with, in relation to any natural organism, human or animal or
Hmm.
trees or anything. These man-made chemicals are messing us all up. We're kind of in a
Synthetics,
little
yeah.
trouble.
All
Yeah.
synthetics seem to be, what is it? A hormone blocker? Almost most
Yeah.
synthetics, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, they're endocrine disruptors. Yeah, they mess
That's the
with
term,
they
yeah.
dis they disrupt hormones and can be in many different ways. Yeah, it's bad. They're xenoestrogens is the word, XENO, xenoestrogens. So if anybody wants to look that up, go talk to Grok or ChatGPT, whoever you want. Whoever you
Right,
talk to these days about stuff about these xenoestrogens. It's not funny. I mean, I laugh because
right.
it's like, but it's
It's
very, very
life,
serious, and we're
yeah.
all being exposed, and we want to know, well, now wait a minute, why is this happening? How come when I was boomers are going, how come when we were kids we didn't know any kids with cancer? Now there's kids with cancer everywhere. People ask you, where did all this come from? Where did all this come from? It's like, dude, let's go backwards. Let's go back in time and start walking. We'll start at 1910 and we'll start walking things forward. And I'll show you where things started coming in direct correlation with where these diseases are spiking upward. And if they're so smart, then how come we all did what they said? We all went low fat diet. We all stopped frying our food. We all did every single thing. It was on every magazine at every newsstand. It was on the news every day. We were bombarded with this stuff about cholesterol, so we all did what they said. And heart disease is still the leading
Right.
cause of death in this country, and the incidence has not dropped, not one bit, but diabetes has gone way up. Well, when they took all the fat out of the food to make the low fat food, it tasted horrible, so they piled it full of sugar.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'll
Sneaky,
push
sneaky.
back. I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate here, and I'll
Okay.
say that on a maybe not the last century, but like on a grander, maybe a few hundred years, the more advancements we make, the more people survive that maybe wouldn't have survived in, say, hunter gatherer times or tribal times. And
Mhm.
so we end up with more people who maybe the tribe would have left behind, that maybe were walking slower, or maybe just, what I mean, like that whole idea of like now we have a lot more sick people, but that's because, like, to your point about the natal the NICU and stuff, the technology and stuff has gone where we're able to make people survive that maybe I wouldn't say shouldn't, but like maybe wouldn't have at some point, you know what I mean, in the past. And so there's
Well,
that
some things,
factor.
right. Well, what people don't really um, take into consideration a lot of times when I hear them talking about that is that yes, we can save easily. I mean, back then, if you got an injury where your skin was broken
Right.
and you got that infected, are you kidding me? You would probably, yeah. How are
It's
they going to
over.
fix that?
Yeah.
Well, they do. There are plants and herbs and stuff that can help, but like your chances,
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of times people die just from accidents that now we know how to prevent those accidents. We wear seat belts and helmets, and
Right.
we're working to prevent some of that stuff. The neonatal, that's a really good example, okay? Because when a child dies under 1 year old, it is counted as a zero age death. How old were they? They were zero. All right. So you have to add up all those zeros when you're factoring in average lifespan for a
Mm.
country. Think about when you were in school and you did your homework, took your tests, how a zero could drag your averages
Right.
way down, and they took a lot of effort to bring that average back up, didn't they?
Mhm.
You had to get a bunch of A's to bring up a zero. All right. So when we're talking about averages and you're looking at statistics, a lot of babies died. A lot of babies used to die. Okay,
Mhm.
we didn't have all this knowledge we have now about things like prenatal care. We couldn't keep these babies alive at 0 years old. right? There was a lot, but we've learned a lot, and now we don't have nearly the incidence of fetal or you know infant death
Right.
mortality has dropped, is what I'm trying to say. Another thing that we used to do is the wars. Men going off to war, and again, the injuries that we used to have up 200 years ago,
Right.
they couldn't survive this stuff. Well, now we can patch them up a lot
Hmm.
better than we could back then, and we had a lot of men going to war.
You need to take
Okay,
that?
so that's not my phone.
Oh, that's somebody else charging. That's okay. Not that's not that loud. I just thought maybe it was
Oh,
important.
it is my phone. I came back on, and no, I don't need to take that. But there's in other words, we have made advancements that have made improvements, but we are still doing things that we should not be doing.
It's
The
like we're working against
iatrogenic
ourselves. Like,
well, we are. We are. The cancer is number two, heart disease number one, cancer number two, number three, iatrogenic death. What does that mean? We
hmm.
are being killed by medicine.
Oh wow.
Iatrogenic death is death by medicine. The medical industry is the third leading cause of death in this country. What
Wow.
are we doing? What are we doing? We need to stop and take a look at this a little harder, and we need to
Hmm.
start making some different choices.
Right.
Yeah.
That kind of comes brings me back to in the beginning. I said what I'm out here doing, just trying to be a, a sponge and curious for myself while being entertaining and making it more popular to talk about to people because
Yeah.
that's where I excel is I can take the complicated and I can bring it down to layman's terms and kind of generalize things, and that's what I think some people are just some things are just too complicated. Like if you guys go to the Wholyhealth space, you're going to get into the details and get into some like the real knowledge about this stuff, and then maybe take notes or whatever. But for me, like I kind of go between, and I'm trying to like, hey, just dip your toe into the into that world a little bit, maybe start paying attention a little bit more. You don't have to like RFK, you don't have to like X either, but you maybe find some more sources of places where people are speaking freely, because it, freedom of speech matters with our health like almost more than anything else, because that's if it wasn't for Carol or anyone telling us about some of the stuff happening, we wouldn't even know to be worried about it, or to even
So
you know,
ironically, Waylon, my space this coming Sunday is about getting things simplified.
nice.
I
Okay.
do those every once in a while because it can get crazy, it can get
Hmm.
confused. People buy way too many supplements. I mean, just stuff happens, and
Hmm.
so helping people kind of, I'm like, okay, we got to get this a little organized. Let's get some order. I'm calling it order in the health because we got to get things in order just a little bit. It can get a little crazy. Yeah.
Well, and prioritize things like giving those the top three supplements that you take. Like that's a good place to start for people, and giving some priorities and stuff like that. So that's good. But anyway, we'll wrap it up. If you have anything you want to promote, obviously this Sunday, guys, come and see it. I'd like to see some of my friends be there on Sunday. I'll try to come up and
Yeah.
speak if I can.
That
But
would be awesome. I would
who,
love that.
who's
And
the
Waylon,
guest?
no, it's just me.
Oh,
Just getting
cool.
people. We
Even
got to
better.
just got
Yeah.
to get people dialed back. The week after that, we're coming in to talk about how we sabotage ourselves with you and I were just talking about the belief systems that we won't let
Hmm.
go of, and we sabotage our progress. We sabotage our health with that
Yeah.
too. So actually have a guest speaker coming in for that one, and then at the end of the month, I have another guest speaker coming in. We're going to talk about longevity. Yeah, we
Wow.
were talking about
Okay.
lifespans. Yeah.
I
But
like that
Waylon,
too.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad we finally got this done. This is great.
It was great, and I tell you, like in the middle of this, I could tell I'm like, wow, what am I rambling about? What do I want to go? Because I want to go to every direction at the same time with you, and it's just like, wow. So I hope that maybe we can find time again in the future, because I
Yeah.
I think those of us who are in the public space, influencing space, need to have a good like circulation of seeing each other. We don't always have time to watch everyone's show every time or whatever, but working together like this is the best way that you and I and people like us can
And
collaborate.
you've asked me questions, and as you would ask the question, I thought, I'm not sure. I really need to think this kind of as I'm talking, think this through. So it's really stimulated me, and
Good.
you've been a bit of a challenge, Mister.
I'm very over analytic, and I've been told that before. Like I come out with out of the third out of like left field with questions like no one thinks about. I went and did this. I'll tell you a quick story. I went to Minnesota. I'm from Illinois. They paid for me to go up there, paid for a hotel, and went to this job interview. It was the first time I ever went to a job interview with a room full of people. Well, you know what that is, right? I didn't know what was getting into a pyramid type scheme kind of thing going on. Well, this one
Uh,
wasn't exactly that. I didn't have to pay for anything. I was selling these fire extinguishers that were actually very, very, very good. But while I was talking to the person, I said, "Well, if I'm going door to door to sell these, and if somebody says no, and then they have a fire, are they going to be looking at me, as like a possible?" And they're going, I never even thought about that. Like I asked them like, is your company going to back me with like lawyers and stuff if something like that happened? You know what I mean? So I always think outside the box, and I think we need more people to do that. I also try to be humble. Some people think I'm a know-it-all, but what I try to say is like, hey, this is my opinion or this is what I think is the truth, but and I try to say, hey, this is where I got it. You go do your own research. So that's what I like about you. But yeah, I'm gonna actually do a spin for the door prize after you leave. That way you don't have to stick around for it unless you want to see that happen. That's up to
oh
you.
no,
To
I
come.
just want the door prize. I don't even know what it is, and I want it anyway. What's the
Well,
door prize? What is it?
you just remember you asked, okay?
Okay.
The door prize is a way for me to get friends and people who are not in the community a spot in my game show that I play on Sundays. So I make a whole game every month. I make a different game. I used to make it every week, but now I make a different game every month, and we kind of work out the kinks throughout the month. But more or less, it's a way for me to give a bunch of prizes away back to my subscribers and stuff.
What's the prize?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the prize. Is you if you're not if okay. So if you're not a member, you get to play in that because it's a paid game show, and anybody who subscribes gets to be in it. From the comments, even not on screen, even like they get to play in the comments, not as a player, but they get to be on a team, and the team captain is on screen playing the actual game. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Now, the door prize that I do five days a week, every show I do a door prize for people who are actually here to give you, to appreciate the people here. If they are paying members already, that door prize is a $5 coupon. It's an indoor farmer coupon, so they get to build up credit. I have a list of credit, and they can spend it on any of my sponsors, and they can spend it on my merch, and there's a bunch of things they can spend it on, and it's
I
it's
love
fun, yeah. And
that.
so the door prize for people who are not members is just a way for me to give you a shot at like checking it out, maybe see what we're doing, and maybe they get excited about it. And anyway, I think I
I
rambled enough
love
for you.
that. That's great. That's so much fun. I'm having prizes on my Mother's Day space. Like
Okay.
holidays don't stop me, you guys. Holidays don't stop
Right.
me. So we'll have some prizes for the moms. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go and let you
Okay.
guys enjoy your game. And I hope may the best man win or woman for your
Just
door
a spin, just
prize.
one spin, but then on Sundays we actually play the game. So yeah.
Okay.
All
Well, I'm
right.
gonna duck out. I've got two more patients to see, and
Sure.
then I've got to run home, change clothes, and go to band practice. So let me get
Cool.
going.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon, Carol. If I had any like burning questions that come to mind, I'll hit you up. But yeah, thank you. And I should be there on Sunday to see that space. It should be
Love
good.
it. Thank you
Cool.
so much for having me. And thank you, everybody, for coming and listening to this crazy old boomer nurse. Y'all,
Thank you.
best of health, best of health. Take control of your health, or those that profit from your illness will.
Yes, yes, ma'am. And I'll boot you out because this might be hard for you to figure out how to get out of there.
Right.
Yes, thank you again. All right, you guys. Wow. That was awesome. ApotheCarol or on X, you have to do the at symbol, and I don't know what it is, but everyone has like a different number with the or different name with the at, but it's at Kiss My Carol. I should have asked you. Actually, let me bring you back up for 1 second. What's the Kiss My Carol thing about? Where'd that come from?
Keep it super simple. Actually, what
Ah,
happened was when Jack Dorsey pissed me off for the last time, I had to come up with a new one. It was at ApotheCarol. I had to come up with a new one, and I was like, he can just kiss my Carol.
okay,
But
cool.
it worked out great because yeah, keep it super simple. I really want to keep things simple for people to get healthy. It's not difficult, but it is different. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, well, I'll boot you again. Thanks.
Okay.
I was like, whoa, I forgot to ask her about that. But yeah, go check her out, guys. At Kiss My Carol on X. I showed it on the screen a few times. If you're just popping in, you can go back and check that out. And please check out the replay. If you're just checking this or just popping in now, check out the replay and tell me what you think. Ask any questions, and I can, of course, relay the questions. Of course, if they make sense. Chris, you were saying some wild stuff earlier. What did you say about the apothecaries are just poison or something like that? And at Lisa May, I meant to read your comment from earlier. You said you've never been to the doctor, never been sick, and you don't do anything healthy. Wow, that's pretty. Like you're an outlier. You're kind of like what's his name, Bruce Willis in that movie. Not Broken. What was it called? What's it called? Oh no, Unbreakable or something like that. Anyway, like it can never get sick. You might want to go see how much you can lift. I bet you maybe you have superpowers. Anyway, let's do this spin, you guys. Very cool. A lot of comments, so I apologize if I didn't get to your comment, but definitely we can relay a question if you have one. Although she's not your personal, although I did ask a couple of personal medical questions, but she's not just, going to answer every, hey, what's this goiter on my arm? Um, you know, yeah, try to be respectful if you can, and go check her out if you're on X. I'm gonna make it a point to get to the space on this Sunday because that's a great topic. I think a lot of people need that perspective of how to explain things in a little simpler manner. It definitely makes sense. All right, so I see comments on Rumble. If you're on Rumble and I see you, Don, let me put you on here. Um, Let me put everybody who's commenting currently on the Rumble on here one more time here. Let's see, Elisa. I'm not done with the vitamin propaganda. I'm not down with it. Okay, down with it. Well, I don't know if it's propaganda. You can get vitamins inside food, so you can still get vitamins. But all the products, yeah, I mean that can definitely be. Diane, thank you. See some dancing bananas in the Rumble. Let's go. Who else? Alice, are you still with us? Let's see. That sounds weird when I say it like that, but you know what I mean. Kayla, gotcha. Okay. Anybody who hasn't commented, comment now. I'm about to spin. In fact, let me do the number spin first. Carol, if you happen to be listening, I think she's probably back working. But this is a different spin. We do two different spins on 4 days a week, and the door prize is on 5 days a week. Let's see, Trent, you're number 10, brother. Anybody that is a subscriber on Locals can get on this number post once a week, and you don't have to be here to win or anything like that. You just have to be a member, and you can get a number on this post, and then I spin it 4 times a week. You get 4 chances every week to win an Indoor Farmer coupon, and it's only $2 to subscribe. So you could literally win many more times back your amount that you spend. So that's for all the people who might be, all the newer friends might be listening over on X, and some on the Rumble too. All right, let's go to the number spin. You do have to be here to win the door prize because that's for people who are here, but the number spin, not necessary. This is for people who can't be here. This is the number spin. I mean, those of you who are here, I appreciate it, but the number spin is for people who may be at work throughout the week, can't sit and hang out and watch the live show or watch it. If they have to watch the replay, some people would miss out if you had to be here. So here we go. Number wheel spin. Let's go. Yesterday we had number 1, Alice. You won yesterday, and Diane won the door prize. So today we got number 2. Number 2. Let's see. Number 1 and then number 2. It's funny. Margaret Jett. Shouts out to Blue Mountain Munchies and Mercantile, one of our newest sponsors. Okay, let me do this. Oh, Let's see some dancing bananas in the chat. Let's go. I will real quick. This is interesting. Health wise, let's talk about health. Like this episode, I have a little ad to read for you from Trinova Health. Trinova Health. Axe Med, powered by Trinova Health, is a revolutionary telehealth service that offers fast, free online evaluations and free home delivery of customized, compounded medications, offering custom weight loss support, ivermectin, and mend. How's this say? Meta. Or no, that's right. Medbenzol. I can't say it. Mebenzol. Anyway, therapy, hair restoration, cosmetic rejuvenation, and more. Wow, that's interesting and a new ad. I've never seen that one. Trinova Health. Interesting. Well, thank you for the $1.32, Trinova Health. I do appreciate it. And thanks for everybody who's still hanging out. That was a wealth of information. I purposely tried not to stay in any one topic throughout that because clearly we could just go down the rabbit hole. So, oh wow, got lots of commenters now. Now that I'm adding more spots on the wheel for it, I appreciate this. Alice, Margaret, Kayla, Big Mike, and Andrew. Okay, cool. Make sure that I get a number. Leslie, you have to go to the post here, but I'm not sure if you did or not. Let me look. You did not, sir. Throw a comment in there, brother. Oh, there you go. You must have done it as I was spinning. My bad. Got to do it before the show if you can. Number 11, though, you get two more chances. Two more chances. One of our wonderful sponsors, Mr. Leslie Cobb from Frog Hopper Grows. Okay. I think that's everybody. Trent, I got you on there. Andrew with the bananas. Andrew, there is a dancing banana on Facebook. You just have to find it. It's hard to find. Oregano oil helps my hair grow. Aaron oil? Argan oil? Yeah, you did, Leslie. I got you. Yucca plant shampoos
Rose
to restore hair growth is what I study. Huh. Very interesting. Rose, are you here? This would be Rose Booza. Rose Booza, are you here? Oh, Dawn with the fairies. Hey, awesome, Trent. That's perfect that you said congratulations to Margaret that she won the number wheel, because she's always doing that for everybody else. Awesome. It's cool, my brother. I need nothing but no worries. I appreciate everybody who participates. It helps to look like there's people doing it, you know. I don't think Rose is here. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out. Okay, she did leave. Oh, she said she had to have a biopsy next week. I found a big one on my calf. Just had 3 removed. My doctor told me to take niacinamide. It's supposed to prevent them. Huh. Fenbendazole. That's not the word I read though. It was a different word, Diane. It's very strange. Toe is healthy and hair is super thick again. Oh, I see. So you use when you lost half of your hair and lost half of your toenails. Oh wow. Interesting. All right, we're gonna spin it again. I think she's on here again though, so I should have Tried to remove it, but it's okay. No dancing bananas on your phone, huh? So it's in the stickers. If you search, let's see, banana.
Diane.
Maybe dancing. That sucks. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. People put it in there. Maybe it's from an Android phone. I don't know. No dancing bananas. Diane's here. Yeah, menbendazole is what I was reading. There's another one with an F, though. It's those two different things, aren't they? I do use plant-based household products. Companies like Johnson & Johnson are trying to kill us. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that they're not good. I don't know if it's an active, like, let me kill people kind of a thought, but or just greedy profit. I don't know. Yes, the Rumble is acting up. It has been, Diane. It has been very strange. But Diane winning the door prize 2 days in a row. I think you won yesterday. I wrote it down afterwards, and I might be wrong about that. I might be wrong about that. Let's see. Look at that. I had to start 3 different live streams today. Insane. Let's go down here and look at the wheel. Oh, it was Sheena. Oh, no, Sheena wasn't there. All kinds wasn't there. Andrew. Was it Andrew? Andrew. Okay. My bad, Andrew. That's right. I said Andrew gets a sprout buck. That's what I said yesterday. I remember that now. Actually, Andrew gets 2 sprout bucks because he won a game night ticket not too long ago, and Andrew has volunteered to be in the game night roster, which gets him sprout bucks since he doesn't need the game night tickets because he's doing us a bigger favor by being on screen. So Andrew, I just flipped to the wrong page. Andrew, you currently have 0 sprout bucks, but you have 4 coupons, so now you have 2 sprout bucks. And speaking of sprout bucks, we've got Mr. Sprout here right now. And we're going to leave right in just a minute. The bus will be here shortly, you guys, but I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Tomorrow will be We Grow Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Time, once again with my co-host, Miss Tala from the First Light Warrior on X. So we'll see you then. And, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about today's episode, but also I got a whole bunch of other things that I had saved on X, but for some reason I can't pull it up on the computer, so I have to figure that out. It's like a bookmark or whatever, and I didn't see it anywhere on the screen. So it is what it is. But yeah, let me go here. Anyway, it's been a great episode. I hope everybody did learn something, or maybe learned enough about Carol that you might want to learn more and come and check out the space on Sundays. That's early in the morning. It's about 9 a.m. at my time on Sundays, so it's pretty early for those West Coasties. Okay, and the outro, Mr. Sproutro. All right, guys, hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you follow the channel if you haven't. Everybody watching from X, or at least have popped in on X, thank you guys. I hope maybe you'll check me out a little bit. Appreciate it. Anyway, remember, everybody's got to eat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, this is for my green thumbs in the game. Wailing the indoor farmer, check my name. Sustainability, we about to reclaim. This is how we do it, keep it in the frame. I'm wailing the farmer, the indoor king. Living off the grid, what the city can't bring. Got my hydro setup, my LED lights. Growing all my greens, all through the night. Self-sustain, that's the mission. Growing my own, I'm not missing. Indoor farming, the hustle's real.